Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Lincoln, Nebraska. As cool a scene on a college baseball stadium as you will find anywhere. A sea of red. Nebraska hosting a regional for the first time since 2008. And tonight they get an SEC blue blood in Ole Miss. Both of them 1-0 as we say hello and welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Earlier today on this field, it got ugly. It was a close game, and then all of a sudden, the Arizona State Sun Devils in an elimination game explode for 17 runs behind 2 grand slams. Their starter struck out double digits. He didn't give up a run, and they won it 17-0, and that moves them into a date with whoever loses the game tonight. You win the game tonight, and you are in the driver's seat. This is one they have been waiting for a long time. Alongside Kyle Peterson, the native of course, this state, and just about an hour east of us in Omaha, which is the ultimate destination. But look at this scene here, man. I mean, you can feel it in the air tonight.
It's been building. It's been building since 2008, and Will Bolt talks about the importance of this program, given the history, doing this again, hosting. I think their fan base has shown you why it is so important to this state.
All right, Ole Miss may come in with better talent, but don't tell that to Nebraska. And they get guys that are maybe undersized and overachieving. We saw that yesterday with Jet Buck. Unbelievable game yesterday.
Yeah, and it's all around. Nebraska is built on run prevention and then timely hitting. Well, here's the first part. Here's the run prevention, an absolute dart from left field. And at this point, it's a one-run ball game late against South Dakota State. Wind's blowing in from right. The Jetstream takes care of that himself. Rides it out to right. His 10th of the season. One of 2 Nebraska home runs in the inning. Extended the lead and led to a Nebraska 4-1 Game 1 victory.
So Buck was one of the heroes, 2 for 4 with a homer, double 2 runs. We'll get into the pitching in a moment, but on the other side, Ole Miss has got some tremendous bats. But what they did in a 14-inning game last night was conserve arms. They only used 3 guys to get through it.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I mean, Walker Hooks comes out of the bullpen, who's their closer, and goes 5 1/3. Then Hudson Calhoun goes 3 2/3 scoreless at the back end to allow Ole Miss to win that game. Today, Ole Miss has an advantage, I think, over everybody else in this regional, where they have 3 true weekend starters. Taylor Ribb has turned into that. And he's been best lately. 34 strikeouts, 3 walks over his last 3 starts.
That's crazy. And the other guy, Ty Horn, he doesn't walk anybody either. We can't wait for this one. Tell your friends, baby. Ole Miss, Nebraska, both 1-0, looking for a Dayton title game. Haymarket Park, Hawks Field, Lincoln, Nebraska for Ole Miss and Nebraska, the NCAA Baseball Regionals. Each of these teams got a victory, did it in different fashion. They were close games. Obviously, one of them went 14 innings when the Ole Miss Rebels were able to escape with a victory at 1:15 a.m. local time. The top of this order was outstanding last night, including the third baseman.
Yeah, Judd Udemark, the career home run leader at Ole Miss, added to it last night. First inning, 96 miles an hour out to right center. Ole Miss is a team, 102 home runs. That's good for top 20 in the country. And this ballpark we saw in Game 1, not playing big tonight. May play into the hands of this Ole Miss offense. They're going to face a good right-hander, and a kid that's done a little bit of everything. Starter last year in the rotation, starter to start the year, went back to the bullpen, then really found himself. Those last numbers are accurate. Over his last 12 appearances, 34 2/3, he struck out 36 and walked just 1.
He'll get Dom Decker to start, the second baseman. Bats from the left side, and the first pitch to him sails high, and it is 1-0. The 1 through 3 hitters last night, that means Decker, Udemark, who you just talked about, and Will Furnace went 5 for 15 with a homer and 5 RBI. That's in there, and the crowd will let you know what they think it is. They called the strike before the home plate umpire.
They got about 7,900 umpires dressed in red tonight.
They call that a strike too, and they are right on it right now. This is an informed audience, and it's 1-2. Angel Campos getting some help. Fouled out of play off the bat of Decker, who steps in, hitting 274. And like a handful of leadoff guys in this regional, more walks than strikeouts. 49 walks, 42 strikeouts. 1-2, and he fouled one off at the plate. So what changed for Ty Horn? When you look at the game logs, he had 4 walks against Oregon on 4-10. He comes back on 4-14 against Creighton, and that was the beginning of all the zeros with walks.
Yeah, since then he's had 1 total.
And this ball is lifted to left field. That will send Buck back. He'll stop shy of a sea of red out there over his shoulder, and there is 1 down.
Well, if you talk to this Nebraska coaching staff, they'll tell you it was kind of a reset. Junior year, and listen, junior year is a draft year for a lot of guys, and sometimes you try to do some things that maybe you aren't. Well, to the bullpen, Ty Horn simplified things and has made 2 starts since coming out of it. They wanted him to make those 2 starts to be ready for this game, to be ready for game 2 of a regional, sensing they may match up with somebody like Ole Miss.
Here is Udemark, and he takes a big swing with that famous pink bat of his, and it's 0-1. Udemark is big, 6'5", 250. He's got 49 runs batted in, 21 home runs. Campos like that, and that is changing eye level right there by Ty Horn.
Changing eye level, changing velo. 83-mile-an-hour slider, then 96 right at the knees.
He's ready on an 0-2. 0-3! That is chasing Cheddar up top, and somebody is pitching with some adrenaline.
Yeah, there's a little bit of confidence on that mound right now, too. And that's what a 2-month run that Ty Horn has been in the middle of will do for you. That's what they pointed to, his mentality-wise and the way he's been going. He's the ideal guy for a setting like this.
74th time that Udemark has struck out against just 35 walks. And now Will Furness. And that one sails high. SEC fans certainly know the name Furness, the last name. Dad was a legend at LSU. Horn is just throwing all of it in there for strikes. He'll call himself a 4-pitch pitcher. We've seen the fastball, we've seen the slider now. He is absolutely dotting wherever his catcher, Jeter Worthley, a freshman, is putting the glove, and everybody now to their feet inside of Haymarket Park. This one is served into left field on a pitch that was up, and a good job by Furness to kind of quiet this electric crowd as he singles with 2 outs.
Good piece right there by Furness, too. That may have been up and out of the zone, but took 95 short to it, got enough of it. And I think it's going to be important for Ole Miss because Ty Horn throws so many strikes. There are going to be a lot of 2-strike counts to actually be okay sometimes with just taking the ball the other way and continuing the inning.
Furness aboard. Tristan Becerra spent 3 years at Clemson. An absolutely gorgeous swing from the left side. Hit a towering homer yesterday, and this one is fouled off on the third base side. For Becerra, career highs this season in homers, RBIs, hits, doubles, walks, and total bases. He is the right fielder for the Rebels. The homer was his only hit in 6 appearances last night, and now he is behind 0-2. I think this crowd is ready for Nebraska baseball, and Horn to flush out Becerra. In the dirt, nice job by the freshman, man. Worthley is composed back there. He is a Lincoln, Nebraska kid, named after Derek Jeter. His dad was a Jeter fan, not really because of the uniforms that he wore, either at Michigan or with the Yankees, but because of the way that he carried himself. And you can certainly tell that the catcher behind the plate carries some of those qualities. This ball is popped up left field. It's going to get into the seats, and the wind is blowing in that direction, and it nearly took it out of the entire park. But we got a fan over there who made a play.
Somebody made a play down that left field line. They try to wrap that breaking ball around the back foot of Becerra right here. Elevated 95 last time.
Yes, sir. And it was exactly that pitch. The 1-2. Uncle Charlie showed up. Horn is feeling it right now, and this crowd is as well. An electric atmosphere here at Haymarket Park. The Huskers coming up when we come back. Standing and sitting room only, baby. Bring the blankets. We got baseball in Lincoln, Nebraska tonight. The NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? We got some note takers. We got some cans. We got people on their phones checking out some maybe the velo of Horn. And now they're looking up at Mac Moyer, a son of Jamie Moyer, Worthley, and then Dylan Carey, who they weren't really sure they were going to have back this year.
No, but they're pretty glad they do. Dylan Carey, the defensive player here in the Big Ten, leads Nebraska in home runs this year as well. Pretty good opening night, too. 3 for 3. Solo home run and a couple of singles, and just a glue guy up the middle for this Nebraska defense. They're going to face a real right arm tonight. And a kid that has grown a lot over the course of this season. Started the year in the bullpen. Last 7 weeks or so, he has been in a starting rotation. How about 81 strikeouts and 8 walks in 57 and change this year? Been more cutter heavy lately. His last 2 outings, he struck out a combined 27, and the cutter use has been up right there. But it's a fastball that's going to live in the mid-90s. It can bump up a little bit more than that.
All right, so you should repeat that again. 57-plus innings, 81 strikeouts,
and
8 walks.
8 walks, that's accurate.
So
better than a 10-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
He and Horn, they don't walk anybody.
No, and they're not flipping it up there at 84 either.
And I'm not sure how many innings Horn can give you. That was max effort, and he was impressive in the top. And now we'll see if Taylor Rabe can match him. Mac Moyer steps in. He's the center fielder. And he takes one that is in there for a strike. That is straight cheese at 97 just to start this puppy off. Mac Moyer out of Washington. His dad played for 10 different major league franchises, 4 hits in his first game, and they never took him back out. And that is a foul ball. That thing was right in on his fists. Well, another one of those leadoff guys whose eye is terrific, but when you have somebody who doesn't walk you, it doesn't help very much.
No, it's a good game plan to be patient until you're in an 0-1, 0-2 hole every time. And we'll see if Nebraska changes that approach over the course of the game, because given history over the entire year, Rabe's going to throw a lot of strikes.
That is right down the middle, and that is filthy. 98 miles an hour on the inside corner. Mac Moyer retired.
He's going to show you 2 different fastballs. It's a 2-seamer at the bottom of the zone, then elevated, he'll throw you a 4-seamer. Both are intentional based on location that he's trying to go. This is a 2-seamer, and that one is not fun to have to deal with right there. 98 at the bottom part of the zone. 4 straight fastballs for Rabe to start it, none under 96.
And here's the freshman Worthley. So you and I talked about it yesterday. The idea that Mac Moyer had a major league pitcher kind of pitching to him as he was growing older, I'm fairly certain, and this is no disrespect to Jamie, he never threw a ball 98 miles an hour.
I don't think he did. No, he threw a lot of baseballs, but I don't think any that hard.
That one sails outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. It's a heck of a guy to have as a dad when you want to be a baseball player. And his arm was rubber. I mean, Moyer could and did last forever. Udemark is even with a bag at third. That one is a little bit above the letters to Worthley, who they believe the power is going to come to this kid's bat. He certainly has good bat to ball skills. He's great behind the plate, but he's just a freshman who will grow into that body.
And it's rare at the highest levels to have a freshman catcher. You just don't see it. A lot of times, from a size standpoint, durability standpoint, takes a while for him to move into it. DH'd in the opener because Carson Yassa was on the mound. He's thrown to Trey Fikes more, but Worthley has really turned into their regular behind the plate.
This is an Ole Miss staff that KP talked about at the top. Near 600 strikeouts this season. That one sails high. Second in the SEC in strike to walk ratio. And for Rabe, his last start against A&M, just 14 strikeouts and no walks. Got to be quite a moment for Jeter Worthley, who is from Lincoln, Nebraska. Here he is on this field, facing a real dude out there on the mound, and obviously more mature, much older than he is, and he holds his ground there on a 3-2 to foul it off. And this is trouble here. Rabe fires. Out is the call. Well, I didn't think there was a chance, and then you remember he throws it 98 when he wants to.
Yeah, there's some closing speed on the fastball over to first right there, and takes the big boy a little bit of time to get over there, but bare hand throws a dart over to Furness and just gets him. That's not running like most catchers either right there.
No, it's not.
First inning, you better be sure if you're going to challenge it, and I think that's probably the reason why Will Bolt didn't do it right there.
And now Carey, the veteran, the shortstop. Big swing at that first one. He's trying to jump all over it. There are certain guys that have real success swinging at that first pitch. This is one of them at over 400 average. That's why you saw him go hard at the first one. He was also aggressive on the second, but now he's in an 0-2 hole. It would be natural. It would come with the territory. A guy that has been around for so long, 4 years senior now, Carey, that when he gets behind with 2 strikes, he's one of the better hitters on the team as well. 260 plus batting average. But that's not against Rabe, who throws one outside. Good hack at it. Carey stayed when you didn't really expect him to. He made 4 errors at shortstop, just 4.
The whole year.
That's correct, and he broke the all-time doubles record at Nebraska. You do get the sense from many of the athletes that come to Nebraska and play, they stay, and it really gets into their blood system. That's down. There is such a connection to the state and the school. Carey could have went a variety of places.
And most of these kids are Midwest kids. Nebraska, Colorado, Kansas, Missouri. They're all within a couple hours drive of Lincoln.
2 of the greats that ever played here. Gordon and Erstad. Alex Gordon, Darren Erstad. That one missed down. He became, by the way, the all-time doubles leader. And whose record did he break?
Gordon Erstad, one of them.
No. Will Bolt.
Did he?
Yes. Will Bolt.
I'd sit him the next day.
You did what to my record? Another 3-2 from Rabe. And that ball's down the line. It is tailing towards the corner, and it is going to go foul. Boy, that has been the area we've seen many baseballs stay in the air and leave the yard.
Which doesn't make sense when you look at the wind today.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, it would feel like the ball to right is the ball that's going to get knocked down. Rob Childress told me the other day that if it stays kind of behind that scoreboard, that a lot of times it will cut the wind, but we've seen it really outside of that framework, and Carey just fine to right. I mean, that's coming in straight from right field.
Sure is. Wind blowing between 20 and 25 miles an hour with their gusts. Went off speed 3-2, and a good job by Carey to hang around.
Yeah, that's the cutter. The cutter from Rabe's going to be 88 to 90 miles an hour. It's got just enough movement to, at a minimum, get it off the barrel, but it'll get plenty of swing and miss on that too. And the cutter usage has seemingly gone up significantly at the end of the year.
3 for 3 last night for Dylan Carey. And he takes one. Ray maybe thought that was borderline, could have been a strike, but a heck of an at bat for Carey. And the first base runner with 2 outs reaches on a walk. You know what that was? That was a 4-year guy.
Yes.
Putting up a good battle against an excellent pitcher.
Whose heartbeat isn't going to speed up in this situation very much, even though it's the first home baseball that he's played in the postseason the last 2 days, but still, it's something he's been thinking about for 4 years.
Brings up Case Sanderson, the first baseman. 370 on the season. Too far inside, Angel Campos, the home plate umpire, known as a very good ball strike caller.
Yeah, Foley wanted that one. You saw that pause when he went to throw it back. He thought he was going to hear something, but he didn't.
Carey dives back. Neither of these teams, in particular Nebraska, runs a ton, but he is the leader with 9 steals on the season. Gets that right foot extended beyond that half circle. The lead is a good one, and that one is out of play. Sanderson is a junior at 6'3", 210. Very good hitter with 2 outs, the best on the team with a .388 average. Given the gust of these winds, any high fly could be a little bit of an adventure. The sun has started to creep onto the field in right and left. Runner goes. That ball is driven on the ground. A one-hopper fielded cleanly by Decker. I'm not even sure that Carey knew where the ball was as he was running by it. Each team gets a runner on, neither gets a runner in, and we are through one of a 0-0 ball game.
Not help my fixation.
The real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on. This is an elimination day in the regionals. Teams that lost their first and then lose today, they are out. What's at stake for these two teams? Ole Miss in their 6th regional final appearance in their last 8. First regional final since 2021 for Nebraska. I don't know if anybody saw what UCLA did again today. It is their 30th comeback. They were down by a couple, blasted off in the 9th with 2 homers, and then won it again.
With 1 out, Mulavai Lavu, Roman Martin went back-to-back to tie it, then they walk him off.
John Savage, their head coach, acknowledged, man, they've been #1 all season long. How difficult it has been for them lately. Federico right back up the middle, and that is the 2nd hit of the night for Ole Miss. He turned around a pitch at 95.
And 95 coming in, 97 going out right there from Federico.
Federico, of course, son of his dad, who is the coach at University of Louisiana Monroe. And now Owen Pano, a highly sought-after shortstop out of New York State. Moved him up in the order, KP, perhaps given some of the at-bats they saw. Braden Randall is the DH tonight. He had some good at-bats last night. Federico, the sophomore, a gamer just off of first base for Pano, who comes in hitting .263. Up the middle, fielded on the bag for 1. The flip in time. What a play, Dylan Carey. All by himself. Talk about fancy footwork.
Yeah, there's what your defensive player of the year in the Big Ten looks like right there, because he is way behind the bag. Now we got to switch directions, throw off balance, and it's got to be dead on if they're going to get Pano to double them off right here. But only chance they have to turn two is if Carey can do it himself, and that was well done.
That was really well done. Now Austin Foley, the catcher, steps in. Two hard hit balls right back up the middle. One for a single, the other results in a double play. Gets us to the catcher with 2 outs. Some power in this bat, 13 homers. Look out. That's called strike. You don't see that very often, and maybe Worthley was
Somebody got crossed up there. I don't know exactly what that was. And that late glove movement is usually when it shows you that a guy was expecting something else. And watch the glove moving not for what he got.
No, he set up down and away, and that thing just stayed right in the heart of the plate. Give Angel Campos credit. It's rare that a play like that gets resulted with a strike call. It doesn't really matter even if it's a strike. I mean, how many times have you seen a ball that is in the zone, but if the catcher moves his glove off of the location, that's a ball.
Don't get it, yeah.
3-1, Foley fouls it off, 3-2. Thousand rise to their feet inside Haymarket Park, and they enjoy that. Another strikeout, the third of the night for Horn. You can see the quality of the teams here. Florida State, obviously, and UCLA have struggled in the regionals, but Nebraska with the second highest rank winning percentage. They went 24-1 at home this season. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, outstanding. Of course, Jim Schlossnagel's Longhorns, equally good. You can be a regional host, good things can happen for your team, and it is really important to get off to a 1-0 start. Teams that do that have great success in moving to Supers. 2-0 starts, you're over 80% chance to move to the Supers. Will Jeske leads off, and he looks at one that's in there for a strike. It's just a very different philosophy, KP, as a pitcher. Not even philosophy, just approach. The way that Rabe doesn't appear to be using a ton of effort. Clearly he is. And Horn, who looks like he's throwing every pound of his body behind the pitch.
Yeah, Rabe kind of looks like he's playing catch.
Yeah, exactly.
He's played catch at 97 so far. That was the slider, which he won't throw as much as the cutter, but when it looks like that, you may want to throw it a little bit more tonight.
Struck out the leadoff man. And a good spoil that time by Jeske, who is inserted as the DH tonight.
All right, so 2 straight sliders. First one swung through. That one Jeske got a piece. We talked about those 2 different fastballs. This is where he may go to that 4-seamer and elevate right here, see if he can get some chase in a 2-strike count.
And he did. Take a look at the scores that are flashing in the upper right. You see Auburn 17, USC 19, Troy 15, Arizona State 17. Some big digits on the elimination day. That's a swing and a miss, and it was held onto. And the second strikeout for Taylor Rabe. For complete coverage of everything happening with these baseball regionals and eventually the Super Regionals and the World Series, go to ncaa.com. Get the latest news, expert insight, and analysis. Speaking of World Series, of course, the Nebraska women are playing in the College World Series and currently in the bottom of the 5th, trail Alabama 5-1. It's the hero from yesterday, Jet Buck. Jet Buck yesterday picked that ball up in left field with Frankie busting around third base, and to the naked eye, it looked like he had no chance to throw him out. And it was one of the key plays of the game. Some life on that fastball as well. 96, and Buck fouled it off.
It took a lot of things to go right on that play for it to end the way that it did for Nebraska. You got to charge it. You got to make a throw that is dead on line because there's no time. And then that was a perfect tag by Fikes at home plate.
Good pitch and another punch out there. Back-to-back strikeouts to bring up Joshua Overbeek.
Okay, it is early, but Rabe has them all going right now. He's got both fastballs when he wants to. He's thrown the cutter. Now this inning he's gone to the slider a little bit more. That's what it was right there. He threw it twice to Jeske in that at bat, but it's such a different look. The cutter's going to stay pretty flat. That slider is a power down slider. And the fastballs at 97 apiece are going to show you two different shapes.
And here is the third baseman, Joshua Overbeek. And that is a strike. I guess the last thing that had to go right on that play was that Overbeek just let it go last night on the throw home and didn't get any leather on it. Didn't think, you know, be better off cutting it off.
Good job of not thinking there. Just let it go.
That one is going to go out of play down the line in left. So Rabe was offered a scholarship after Ole Miss won the 2022 title. He was throwing about 90 to 93 at Greenville High School in Greenville, South Carolina. Tommy John surgery, and then about a week before the 24 season, he made his debut against Murray State. And in that game, 2 innings and no runs. The 0-2. Way high and inside to Overbeek, who is the heartbeat of this team. Great conversationalist. Dad was involved with physics and moved all over the country as a kid growing up. Spent some time in Massachusetts and other areas all across America. That one is up to the right, smothered off the knee of Decker. And Overbeek is going to reach. Interesting decision by Decker, who appeared to have more time than maybe he thought.
Yeah, I mean, you can see what he's thinking. What he's trying to do is slide in one movement, then pop up on that right foot and have plenty of time to make the throw. He almost a little bit too early. Glove got stuck behind him, so it ends up hitting his knee on the slide, goes off. He backhands it. He's not going to get as much on the throw, but potentially can get rid of it quicker. Instead, it'll go as a 2-out single for Overbeek.
And now Drew Grigo, Big Ten freshman of the year, swings and misses. Scotty numbers, 331 average and on base of 425. Think about a freshman with 7 home runs and what he could project into.
Talked about the control of Rabe. 8th hitter that he's faced so far today. 7 of those 8 have been first pitch strikes. Yeah. He has been consistently ahead.
Overbeek likely would be a threat to steal, but he's been dealing with foot injuries. He broke his foot twice. This one's a little bit easier for Decker. He's up with it, and he throws out the freshman Grigo. They got 1 on in each inning, but they did not bring a run in. We're heading to the 3rd. It's what we thought, a great pitcher's duel and a wonderful atmosphere tonight. Got 4 beautiful areas to lay a towel down and sit. The NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? It's a money environment in a ballpark that opened in 2001. Meantime, the Auburn Regional married to this one.
Yeah, it got interesting with Milwaukee beating Auburn in the opener. Then Auburn comes back, puts 2 touchdowns and a field goal on NC State. Milwaukee now leads UCF. It's early, but a 2-0 lead for Milwaukee. That'd move them to 2-0. Then UCF Auburn tomorrow would be an elimination game.
And congratulations on one of the great careers in college baseball to Elliott Avent.
Amen.
His Wolfpack lost today, but as engaging and as enjoyable a man to be around when it comes to just talking baseball and being in his presence.
He got a standing ovation from Auburn's crowd today after the game.
He should. Randall fouls that straight back. He reminds me in a lot of ways of, remember Rick Majerus?
Yeah.
He reminds me a lot of that. Majerus spent a lot of time up in Bristol at the studios, who just wanted to hang out and just talk ball. I remember being and meeting Elliott for the first time years ago in Omaha, and that's all he wanted to do. stayed outside. Good job by Worthley just to pose, freeze. Somebody, Campos, help me out here. But
you're not going to get that one tonight.
No.
You can try to frame one up that's close, but that one's a little bit too far.
Two balls, two strikes. And again, you're settling into the game, but it's quite clear the electricity that Horn had in that first inning. We've gone from 100 watts probably down to, 75. Just in the entire approach, body language. He was a snorting bull in that first inning.
Yeah, Rob Childers talked about it before the game. He said one of the things he talked to Ty Horn about this morning was controlling the environment at the beginning. He said I loved his comparison. He said it's like a hunting dog. You got to know when to shock him and when not to. You don't want to shock him too much and take the hunt out of him. And it was the same thing here. You don't want to take the aggressiveness out of him, but that was an aggressive changeup. And Horn has shown the ability again to control all of them. Fastball's been at 95 this inning. Now he showing the ability to throw this against left-handers. The changeup gets really good swing and miss, above 40%. Arm action's really good, down and away right there. And Randall swings right over the top.
The number 9 hitter is Daniel Pasella, the left fielder. He's the senior. And he swings and misses at that. I think that was a pretty telling at-bat there with Randall because he was frustrated at times. And certainly those two that he didn't get that Worthley framed. And rather than let it get to him, which had happened, he settled in and threw that wicked changeup, picked up his 4th strikeout.
Yeah, if he's got the ability to throw that to left-handers, and the fastball is going to continue to play up the entire night because you got to respect the velocity change in location down and away.
Grigro, the right fielder, had to go over and pick that baseball up, so we had a little pause, and Horn is ready. He fires, he picks up another punch out. So Foley to end the second, and now Randall and Pasella, 3 strikeouts in a row to 7, 8, and 9, and now we go back to the top.
Yeah, looks like he went backdoor cutter, backdoor slider right here too. So velocity change, not quite as much as a changeup, but close, but right on that outside part, had enough down to it to get off the bat.
Ball 1 to Decker. Some things you guys don't see at home, but we got Udemark on deck, and one of the coaches has come out to sort of talk to him about some of the things they may be seeing from Horn. Plant a little seed in the head of Udemark if he gets up. As Decker now finds himself ahead 2-0. And he went with that changeup.
Yeah, that could be the difference maker when you can throw it for swing and miss and a strikeout count, and then you can throw it to get yourself back in a count. And that's exactly what it was right there. Don't need to be as fine with location because the hitter's probably not looking for it.
Good call. You can see it again. Campos, 3 balls and a strike. Decker, a Murray State transfer, in his first 2 years there, had no homers. He takes that 3-1 with 10. Another hard one to explain.
I played the College World Series last year with Murray State.
Crowd back on its feet. And a jam shot the other way that's going to go foul by about 15.
It's the first time, I'm not sure if it was intentional, but it's the first time that Horn has really come in on left-handers. Up to that point with the fastball had been away pretty consistently. That time they crowded Decker with 2 strikes.
Back up the middle. That one was off the glove, smothered by Carey. No play. Terrific effort, but he could not make any throw. And that's going to be a 2-out single for Dom Decker. It looked like Horn may have gotten a little leather on it. And we got a runner on. Decker's having a very good regional. And here comes Udemark, a big-time home run threat. What a security feeling it must be for a pitcher to have that guy behind you.
Yes. Yeah, you don't mind if they hit it on the ground.
They go into a shift against Udemark, who blasted his 50th career homer last night. And like so many big power-hitting right-handed hitters, that pitch right there is their kryptonite.
Yeah, it's Last time against Utermark, they went spin early and then velocity late to finish him off. See if it's the same thing here.
He gets one up in the air, though. That wind is helping it to left field. The legend Tim Elko was the mentor for Utermark as he takes one high. In fact, when he made his visit on campus, it was Elko who was his escort around to show him, as you pointed out last night, probably not by mistake.
I would think that one was intentional. They pretty good guy to have somebody hang around with.
Yeah. Elko was, of course, a folk hero, and rightfully so in Oxford for what he did, coming off of a torn ACL and saying, I know it's torn, I'm still playing. He's on that career home run list. Utermark hits it on a line. It's caught over there at third by Joshua Overbeek. It was another changeup. He got out in front of it. Came in at 82, didn't go up much harder. Horn working quickly. He's through 3. Two big-time control guys on the mound tonight, which is quite a treat. And the over 10 strikeout to walk ratio, 3rd in Division I. Oftentimes, KP, as a pitcher, you know, it's maybe 1 or 2 pitches, but he's got them all working tonight, and he has all year.
Yeah, and there's not too many nights you go out there and you feel like you get control of 2 different fastballs. The 2-seamer, he's had better control than the 4-seam. He's had control of the cutter, and we've seen some really good changeups and sliders from him, too. And there's actually 5 if you count the 2 fastball shapes that Rabe has. Pretty good early returns for the big right-hander.
Both pitchers pitching great to start in front of a packed house, likely upwards of 10,000 people here at Haymarket Park. Brett Stokes leads things off, bottom 3, and before he does, we may have a pitch calm-ish. South Dakota State's catcher today was actually using his fingers to signal old school way.
Come on now.
What? No, they were down. The digits were down.
He was actually putting signs down. That's what you're telling me?
1, 2, 3, 4 fingers. They all went down there.
I'll be.
And it worked until it didn't. And it ended up 17-0. Nothing to do with the signs. Utermark got it on a short hop, steps into it and fires, and Stokes is retired, and that's a helper, 1 pitch.
It is. I like the decision, too, of Utermark to slow down, not try to make that throw on the run. First of all, it's a tough angle for a third baseman to do it, but 2, when you've got the time, it just makes the throw that much easier for him to make over to first base. 1 pitch, 1 out, and a good decision by Utermark.
And here comes my guy, Mac Moyer, who has just such an interesting philosophy about golfing and hitting a baseball. Of course, we have many sports fans, not only baseball fans, watching this one, but you know, generally the pitchers are the guys that go out and play golf, and I'm sure his dad was famous for doing that. The Atlanta Braves, during the great run of Maddox and Glavine and Smoltz, were notorious for playing. So Mac says he thinks the argument that it screws up your swing couldn't be further from the truth. Mac wants to play as much golf as he can because he believes it helps him find the sweet spot of the bat.
It made me respect Mac even more. I think he's right.
Mac's putting together, you know, quite a year with a .359 average, so it's hard to argue, but there he is. Little Mac on the lower right. The wonderful Moyer family. Karen reached out. She's here. They adopted 2 children, too. They are such a wonderful family. As Mac nearly gets drilled. Did he go? No, he didn't. A handful of guys that we associate with who do games with us, Eduardo Perez and other, who spent their childhood in clubhouses. And they're just different.
Pretty cool way to grow up.
3-1. And Moyer will take a base. So a 1-out walk sends him to first, and it brings up Jeter Worthley. Second walk of the night issued by Rabe. After walking his second, he lands that one. Four years at Lincoln East High School. He led the Spartans to state titles sophomore and senior years, three-time Super State honoree. In Nebraska, good pick behind the plate by Foley. Made that look pretty easy.
How did Foley stare him down afterwards, too? He's good back there. We talked about this yesterday, but if you're going to catch at Ole Miss, you are going to defend behind home plate. Mike Bianco, the former catcher, always has very, very sound defensive catchers.
Runner goes Moyer, and is that a swing?
Wow.
It looked like a swing to me. Yes, it was. And Moyer will have to go back.
It was a late swing, but it was a movement like it was a hit and run. But generally, you're going to move a little bit earlier than that. It was a count that you may see. I want to ask the question tomorrow whether that was a hit and run or just a defensive move right there to try to avoid getting hit. But regardless, I don't really know what you talk about here. It looked like it hit off the handle, didn't it?
Whether it's a ball, a strike because of the swing or a strike because of the foul.
So here's what I'm almost certain they're talking about is if they say it hit his hands, okay, and the swing is defensive.
The ruling in the field is a hit by pitch with the swing of the batter.
And that's not one that they're reviewing. They're just explaining that to the 9,000 who are wondering what happened.
So what they could look at is if the swing is deemed to be defensive, to where he's not intending to swing, but ultimately he's trying to get out of the way at the end, it doesn't need to be ruled a swing. It's not going to be challenged right here, so that won't take place. But I think that was the umpire discussion.
So it's 1-2. Moyer's not going. That one is down to Worthy. And there is a bit of a connection to Michigan. His family grew up Michigan fans. That's where Derek Jeter, of course, went. But it was his brother, who was a Nebraska Cornhusker, that ultimately got him to say, you know, rather than thinking about going to Michigan, I'm going to Nebraska. He said, I saw how well he developed, how he's changed as a baseball player, and I wanted some of that. He got jammed here. No one's going to be able to catch that. And in the end, there's proof in the pudding. So when you see that firsthand, you know it works. Roll ball. He's got the attention of the baseball playing high schoolers in this state for sure. 2-2, one out, one on. No score. And a slow one to second. Decker has one play. He will go to first. Moyer into scoring position.
That is two different times that Worthy just about beat something out, and I mean, Decker may have had just as good a chance to get the out at second right there as first. They would have had to be quick and has taken a chance, but that was bang bang at first right there to get Worthy out.
Brings us back to one of the better matchups in the first inning. The senior Dylan Carey, who worked a walk. He's the shortstop and the guy you want up with a runner in scoring position. 64 RBI. Big swing in a first one that was about lead or cheddar there with a fastball at 96. He's come up with big hit after big hit this year for the Big Red. Moyer just taking a look around to see where the outfield is with regards to depth. Popped up on the infield. Furness, the first baseman, is there. The wind is blowing it right into his glove, but it's a little bit of an adventure. We've talked a lot about the kids that he's gotten to come from the state of Nebraska. I look forward to talking with Will Bolt when we come back. We're through 3, 0-0. Welcome back. Just an iconic piece of video. Will Bolt is the shortstop on this Nebraska team. On a field in which you can see AstroTurf, natural grass. He makes the play, rips every article of clothing off, throwing everything up in the air, sending them to a World Series in Omaha. And the pig pile at the bottom of that, he's obviously survived that and done really well for himself. He joins us right now. Will, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. You know, you got this ballpark, it is packed. Is this equal to, exceeding your expectations and what you thought a night like this would be?
Yeah, I mean, you hate to say it, but this is kind of what we expected, right? A full house, and you can't see a blade of grass in the berms, and the crowd going nuts in the first inning. I mean, it's as good a college baseball atmosphere as there is in the country.
Well, we talked about it before the game, Ty Horn, and just the second half of the season as opposed to the first half of the season, and how he's grown and all turned into what we've seen today. But what have you seen so far?
Yeah, same thing, just very competitive. He's mixing 4 pitches for a strike. He's got the changeup going near the bottom of the order and second time through, and just needs to continue to challenge the strike zone, and that's exactly what he's done really about for the last 6 weeks.
Hey, Will, you're building something special here. Thanks very much for joining us.
All right, go Big Red. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, man.
I just think that video you could watch all night with him making the catch, his teammates destroying him. And the field is unique as any you've seen. I know there have been others like that, but boy, given what we now see with some of these great facilities, it's just odd to the eye.
Yeah, I think it's hard to understand unless you were living around here when that happened, just how that changed Nebraska baseball. Because the history of the university, it didn't have a whole lot of history when it came to baseball. They had never been to Omaha. And that's what started it. And yes, this ballpark was already being built. They were going to move into it anyway. But still, I mean, is there a better way to enter the ballpark in your first year after going to Omaha for the first year? Let's continue it. And that's why you see the fan base the way that it still is, because they remember those days and they're looking to get back.
2-2, down 3-2. He told a great story, too, the other day about the fact that this ballpark, prior to that game, was ready to be occupied. They could have moved in here and played that game. He's gone, and another strikeout. Boy, Horn has got a half dozen. But they opted to play there because obviously it's where they played the entire year, but this place has been pretty special to them too.
Yeah, and this pitch has been pretty special tonight for Ty Horn. That's the cutter in on the hands. You can see Furness. He was reacting fastball, and then it just kept on coming in underneath the barrel and in on his hands.
And now Becerra with a big 430-foot bomb last night. Big swing, man. Watch that front foot fly out of there. He was thinking about that little silver car out there beyond the wall and right.
This offense does not get cheated, especially right in the middle of the lineup. Becerra is he's the ringleader of that one.
Horn continues to work ahead, which opens up so many possibilities for a pitcher. For the last 5 outs have been via the strikeout. 0-2. Maybe overthrew that one a little bit as he came way inside at 95.
Your max effort's still there, by the way. When he wants to let it go,
notice that.
It is every ounce of him that's going into it. That's a good take. That's a real good take, because that was where Horn wanted to throw it. Elevate, fastball. That cutter or slider into the left-handers has been great. He also has the ability to run the changeup down and away.
Good adjustment by Becerra, who identified that pitch.
You got to be careful with that one against the big left-handers, in particular the Becerra, because if it misses just up enough and he gets it, it's 1-0. Changeup down and away at least has it moving away from the barrel.
2-2 on the way, and got him on the foot. He's going to first base. And Horn gives up the free bag to Becerra. Here comes the red-hot Hayden Federico, who has got a hit in 5 straight at-bats.
Yeah, he was standing on first last night, walked him off.
Another son of a prominent coach. Becerra leads off first. He takes, that's down a little bit, and it's 1-0. Federico had options. His dad said, I'd really prefer not to coach him. I've done it most of my life. I don't need him to come to my school. And they were all mutually excited when the Ole Miss call came.
Mike Bianco did the same thing. I mean, he had one son play at Louisville. He had one son play at LSU. Now Drew's back with him on the coaching staff, but he had kind of the same approach to it.
I think there's a benefit in just hearing another voice.
There is, yeah. Mike might have been thinking twice about that when Drew went deep when they were at LSU. I remember the look on his face.
2-0 and towards the berm on the left side. Quite the area, this Haymarket Park area, with the restaurants and facilities beyond center field, Memorial Stadium, where they play football, Pinnacle Bank Arena down there to the right. You got a bridge walk and those berms, which right away, Will Bolt pointed out, there's not a spot on the berms. A unique, wonderful part of what makes this ballpark so neat.
It's standing room, too. They are too deep all the way around.
Federico chased the high one. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
All-time attendance record here is right at 8,700.
That's gone tonight.
But they haven't sniffed one of those in 18 years. They may sniff it tonight. Good take. Second time around, interesting to see the way the guys are following. Now, Furness did. They got him on a cutter in on his hands, but Federico recognized spin right there. It seems like he's recognizing everything right now based on his last handful of at-bats.
He's managed the 3-2 pitches well, has Horn. Oh, that got him leaning. That was close. Becerra, who is not a real threat to run, but he got caught leaning to the right.
The 3-2 count right there with 1 out, he may have been. And that's why Rob Childress chose to pick right there. There was that false step to second base.
He's going. That's a foul ball.
That time was more of a hit and run break.
Yep.
It was a little bit later, and you just counting on contact at the plate with Federico, because if he swings and misses with that break,
you're out.
If it's anywhere close to second, Becerra's out.
Five straight ABs that Federico has got a hit. Called strike 3. They throw down, and he is safe at second base. The call on the pitch was strike 3. Federico's string of 5 consecutive hits is over.
Yeah, but watch Worthley right here. And I don't know if he didn't have a handle on it or if he was waiting to hear the strike 3 call. It may have been that. But if he doesn't double pump, Becerra's out. Because even with the double pump, it's fairly close at second base. Instead, Mike Clement and this Ole Miss offense takes a chance, and it pays off.
Pano from the left side. Looks at ball 1. I think that replay showed he didn't really have a good grip on it.
Yeah, I think on the transfer, he just kind of lost it on the way.
You mentioned Fikes, who was catching last night. Kind of a personal catcher. Worthley's gotten most of the action behind the plate as that one lands in there to go 1 ball, 1 strike. We know the arm out there in left field. We saw it last night. Moyer in center, and Grigo, the freshman of the year in the conference in right field, can also throw. And now we are a strike away from seeing Horn get through this inning.
This will get him on their feet again. 2 strikes, 2 outs, and we got 7,500, 8,000 on their feet.
75th pitch of the night for Horn. Spoiled. Heavily sought after out of Poughkeepsie, New York. And in upstate New York, Owen Pano, we saw some real leather flash last night. On the ground to the right side, the race is on, and it's a tough throw. Wow. Boy, did he lead the receiver to the corner of the end zone, and Horn stepped on that base.
That was one of those that when you see it up here, you're not sure if he should even throw it because it took perfect timing. And then for Horn, it took the footwork to be perfect. There's not enough time to look down at the bag, so ultimately you got to hope the footwork is right. Good feed by Sanderson, but watch Horn. Catch, bag, inning over. We'll talk to Mike Bianco in just a moment.
Neither team has been able to crack the code of Horn or Rabe. It's zeros as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Before we do that, kind enough to join us, Mike Bianco, of course, the head coach at Ole Miss. You guys that play in great atmospheres every night, in the SEC. You got one going on here. How's your pitcher handling it? Because he seems to be doing remarkably well.
Yeah, I think he's doing really well, and you're right. One of the benefits of the SEC is you play in great atmospheres, and this is certainly one of them. It feels like a Friday night in the SEC.
Mike, it feels like one of those games too that it's going to be one swing or one pitch or something that determines it. In these tight ball games like this, in a setting like this, do you manage that different or handle that any differently as far as what you're trying to get done?
I don't know necessarily that, KP, but one of the things that's happening to both of those guys, running out there, is I think they're having some good at bats. And of course, we got some more swing and miss than them, but I think we got Horn, up around mid 70s pitches to this point. So even though we've punched out a lot, his pitch count's starting to tick up a little bit. But you got to bunch some at bats together. You got to get the hit, after the walk or stolen base. There's no doubt about it. You need that timely hit.
A fun game last night. I'm sure you're looking forward to maybe getting to bed a little bit earlier.
It doesn't matter. If you win, it's good. You'll go to bed at any time.
Thanks, Mike, very much.
All right, guys. Appreciate you.
That's a good man as well. Case Sanderson is up. It's a 1-1 count. He's right literally on the number 75 pitches for Horn. Ray with 55, and now he's ahead 1-2. He made so many decisions last night that in the end worked out, but during the process, there were some times where I know a lot of Ole Miss fans were wondering, like, we took out Furness to get a pinch runner in there. That man never scored.
How brilliant does he look if they just bloop one into the outfield?
Yeah, of course, looks genius.
I mean, it's just, it's the way that the game, you never know what's going to happen next, but.
Always the argument of the great managers and coaches, like just because it worked out didn't necessarily mean it was the right one. And if it doesn't work out, doesn't mean it was the wrong one.
Well, it's kind of like a closer mentality, too, to where you got to have just a short memory with some of those and figure out if it's something you want to do again, but then shove it off because the game doesn't stop regardless of what happened.
Did he go? No. Then the count goes full. I mean, in the end, Romine had to go over there at first base. He kept coming up in between Udemark and Becerra, and it didn't work out. And yet he was the one who led off the inning with the walk and ended up scoring the winning run in the 14th. Just like Bianco drew it up. Called strike 3. Campos paused. Sanderson was headed down to first. And they got the hook in the mouth and brought him back.
Well, this is one that Rabe hasn't done very much today. A lot of times when he goes off speed away, it's a changeup away, so it's going to move away from Sanderson. That's the slider. So watch it grab just a piece of the plate on that side. It's fighting to just catch a piece instead of running off it. That's why Sanderson gave up on it right there. May have been a tick outside, but a good job by Fowley to frame it up.
Which gets us to Will Jeske. He struck out his first time up. That's a strike. I was thinking about it, the SEC tournament, which we were at, and they had the ABS system. I know Chris Burke was harping on it as well. It seemed to expand what the umpires were calling strikes because that gray area under ABS was basically a strike call. Did you notice that, and do you think that's something umpires will carry with them?
The one thing I saw was that pitch, so the breaking ball that's up that a lot of times wouldn't be called a strike, but when you look at it, it actually is a strike, was probably called a little bit more. Now, historically, we're not used to that call, but it still is a strike.
He's got another one. That is strikeout number 6 for Rabe, and his pitch count a little more efficient at 63. Get your phones out, get the QR code, and zing it, because that is how you can get to Squeeze Play. Scan it now, and you go site to site. 16 sites currently operating. Next week, you'll go to 8 super regionals.
You just drop a zing it right there?
Yeah, zing it. That's what the kids say now.
Seems I'm not sure if they do or not, but we'll go ahead and go with it.
Zap it. You need to get the phone out.
Zing it.
Zap it. You down on Zing?
Yeah, I'll probably use it from now on.
Are you down with Zing?
You may have just started a trend.
Georgia with 18 runs. I look at the elimination day, and there's just some teams that are flexing offensively in the upper right. And that's the beauty of Squeeze Play. They will get you to those big innings. They will show you the highlights if you're interested in the games from around the country. It's such a great time of year, this regional weekend. That ball is hit pretty well to right field. This one's got some carry. This one's gone. Jet Buck does it again. And the Huskers get a 1-0 lead. We may have to rename that area the Jet Stream. Second home run that he's hit in consecutive days. Both go the other way.
Jetstream re-engaged.
Yes.
We've seen it back-to-back nights. He has done everything right for this Husker team. Got 96 up in the zone, and again, for whatever reason, it is carrying to right field. And it did again right there. Both home runs this weekend for Jet Buck, both the opposite way. That one gives the Huskers the first run of the ball game.
That's the first hit to leave the infield today. First baseman Will Furness came charging in. Jet Buck, outstanding last night with his defense. He threw a runner out at home. He hit a home run, and tonight he breaks the seal.
I was talking about eye contact. He got my eye contact within 8 seconds when the hitter gets in. Ray must have been looking away. So it won't be a ball. It was just a warning right there, I think, from Angel Campos.
Overbeek is working on his own clock as well.
Mike Bianco has his own clock, too.
Slider underneath the arms of Overbeek, who delivered the first hit of the game for Nebraska. Jet Buck's got 11 bombs on the season, and none arguably bigger than the 2 that he's got in the regional. That's in there for a strike.
It's that same pitch. It's away instead of in, but it's the exact same pitch. For me, it's a strike.
Of course, you're a pitcher. But I will say, I think for these people sitting in the stands, it has the element of, it does look a little high.
It also depends on who's on the mound.
Right.
The red team's on the mound, you may get a little bit different reaction.
Think? There's that pine tar in our conversation of things we'd like to see more of that were once part of the game, maybe come back. KP was all over it. I mean, look at the front of that lid.
I grabbed the pine tar rag when I went down to the field before the game. I just had to.
You just needed that.
You just don't see him anymore.
Like a baby's blanket to you.
Yep. Shed a little tear and went over and saw Will. Gave him a hug.
Said thanks, man, for bringing it back.
It's the simple things.
Just after we talked about the fact that his pitch count was so efficient, he picked up his 6th strikeout with 63. Buck blast later, and now a pretty good at bat going on here with Overbeek, and he's going to end up getting through the fourth with maybe roughly right around where Horn is at 74-75. There is the hero of the regional so far, kind of hidden back there. That is Jet Buck. He got him to chase. That one was diving down and away. But leaving on a jet plane, wherever you want to go with KP is to take us to break.
Let's go back-to-back jet planes. This is yesterday. Solo shot in the 8th. Exit stage right center for Buck. That extended the lead at that point. Well, today, it gives the Huskers the lead. Solo shot to right, the only run of the ball game. Jet Buck's 11th gives the Huskers a 1-0 lead.
We are back. You're watching the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. They have lost one of the 25 games they have played at home this season. That guy right there, basking in the glory of all those folks that greeted them in left field. Jet Buck's blast makes it 1-0 Nebraska. We go to the 5th. Yeah, this is going to be a perma smile on his face.
Yeah, he's got a lot of friends out left field right now.
Sure does. Foley lifts one to him high in the sky. He's got it, and wouldn't you know, it ends up in Jet Buck's glove. It's Jet Buck's world right now. We're all just kind of living in it. Foley did not miss that thing by much, and it was up there for probably 4 to 5 seconds.
And Foley's the guy that hit 20 last year. And then home run number down a little bit this year, but there's plenty of juice to run it out at any time.
On the ground to second, and that is a helper for a dude that has 77, now 79 pitches on his arm. One pitch out to Braden Randall. For complete coverage of everything that's happening with the baseball regionals, we invite you to go to ncaa.com for the latest news, expert insight, and analysis.
We had Mike Clement's going to take the air out of the ball for a little bit, which I don't blame him, after 2 quick outs. We had a section on our pitching chart when I was in college. And one of them was zeros after you score a run. So essentially, after you score a run, how many times do you go out and throw up a zero? It is, for me, massively important, because you want your offense right now, well, maybe just one guy, but your offense is starting to feel pretty good about themselves. You want them at the bat rack as quickly as you can possibly get them right now.
Well, the crowd's been in it all night, and now they're even more engaged because they start to think about the finish line, which is to go 2-0 and force Ole Miss to have to deal with Arizona State tomorrow, and then have to come back, whoever wins that one, and beat them. So, yeah, I agree. I think that's a great stat. How you do after you score a run. You want to put up a zero. I don't know how many conversations I've had with really good pitchers, whether it was Schilling or a Mulder, Pedro Martinez, about just that and the pride they take in it. But quickly behind 3-0 to Pasella. Yeah, taken all the way, and maybe another one. That looked comfortable, kind of an Iron Byron approach that just poured that down the middle. 3-2. His next strikeout will match a season high, but he will not get it, and Horn works very quickly. The 11th walk for Pasella this season. The first walk issued after the hit by pitch by Horn tonight, and now you're back to the top. So for the 3rd time tonight, Decker gets a chance to see him. He singled his last time up. It's very entertaining tonight.
Now they like it a little bit more.
It's very entertaining.
Now they like it a little bit more, huh?
They are calling the strikes before the home plate umpire with their cheers. Ahead 0-2 to the leadoff hitter. That's way high. He's ready again. Did he go? No. So we mentioned that Decker was at Murray State. When Rabe made his debut, he faced Murray State, and he faced Decker. And Decker doubled off him.
In the regional.
In the regional. And doubled off him down the line. 2-2 to Dom. And this ball is hit to the shallow right field area. That's a good little read there by Grigo because the ball's been flying a little bit off the end of the bat. He does not give up a run. He protects. It's 1-zip. Bottom 5 coming up.
Welcome to Squeeze Play. All the highlights, all the big moments.
Get a chance to have some big-time fireworks.
6 to 8 games on the screen at one time.
You're going to be locked in for that.
The season on the line.
Hashtag Squeeze Play. Send us some tweets. Maybe we'll put you on the social wall.
The storybook season will continue.
Great show, very popular. Social media is all about it. Continues through the regionals. ESPN Plus is the place to get it. Drew Grigo will lead off this inning. We are halfway through this one. It's got the feel of a big league game just because the starting pitchers are throwing so many strikes.
They're working quick. They're throwing strikes, and it's real swing and miss stuff.
13 total strikeouts tonight. Horn one more than Rabe, 7-6. Campos liked that one. That's a good breaking pitch for a strike from Rabe. Again, he began the night with 81 strikeouts and 8 walks on the season. That's just crazy numbers. And he gets another strikeout. And for him, that'll be number 8 tonight.
It's just one big fly. That's the difference at this point. Pretty comparable on both sides. Rabe 2 more outs to get, so that pitch count's going to continue to climb, but both have been outstanding tonight.
KP final score: Kansas 5, Arkansas 3.
Jayhawks 2-0.
Strike one, says Campos. Good one on the corner at 87 miles an hour.
So we got first time since 2008 that Nebraska is hosting here. First time ever that Kansas has hosted a regional at Hoagland Park.
Midwest baseball hotbed. Another one. And there is an element of what Rabe does out there with his catcher Foley where it just does look like he's playing catch.
Yeah, I think that's also one of the reasons why he throws so many strikes. There is not, for a kid that big, there's not a ton of moving parts to home plate.
0-2 to Stokes. And he is gone, lost that top hand, and that is strikeout number 9. Check that, 8 straight.
He struck out 5 of the last 6.
Yes, he has.
The only one he didn't strike out was the home run that Buck hit to right field. This is where he can add depth to that slider. It goes almost straight down.
Back to Moyer, who did strike out his first time up, and then he drew a big walk. And he puts this one up in the air to center field. Federico's underneath it, and he's there to make the play. A 1-2-3 inning with a couple of more strikeouts. Nebraska with a 1-0 lead. We go inning 6. Well, we started as the only regional that had 3 ranked teams. Also the only regional with 3 coaches who played in Omaha. Arizona State thumped South Dakota State today. They ultimately ran out of pitching. And as a result, Rob Bishop's team goes home. Congrats to the Jackrabbits on an amazing run here. But the success rate of those that win the opening game, 93% and 82%, started 2-0. These are the two 1-0 teams. It just gets so hard tomorrow because you're in that game. The first one, you got to win it, then you got to come back and win at night. Utermark swings and fouls one off. Utermark hit 2 homers as a freshman, 5 in 2024. And then the numbers got deeper. He hit 22 last year. And of course, he's right back around that area this year with 21. For a total of 50. He's gone, and another terrific performance by Horn to take care of one of the more dangerous hitters in college baseball.
Right on right changeup, and they went back-to-back. 0-2 changeup that he kind of buried, and then that one comes back. It's close enough to get Utermark swinging. He's only thrown that pitch to righties about 10% of the time this year, but he goes back-to-back against Utermark to get another strikeout.
And it is strike one to Will Furness. The game has seen 5 combined hits and 3 times as many strikeouts. There have been 15 of them. And another one called a strike by this very, very loud and into it crowd. They've done a lot of standing because the way Horn's pitching. And how about Furness, who once again reaches out, and one that goes towards the gap. He's thinking about 2, and then he puts the brakes on. That's a professional hitting by Furness. He's got 2 of them.
Well, Furness has got a really good ability to keep the barrel of the bat in the zone for a long time. And that's exactly what it is right here. It's a changeup down and away that honestly is exactly where you want to throw the pitch. It just got spoiled by a really good approach. Fooled on it a little bit, but that front side doesn't fly. He keeps it in long enough to get the barrel to it. Get his second hit of the ball game.
Well, Buck hit a homer last night and 1 tonight. This guy hit 1 last night a long way, and he's behind 0-1. It's Tristan Bissetta. See, there's thighs on Bissetta, and just how thick they are. So much of the power of these guys come from the legs, and Bissetta has worked awfully hard on getting stronger and stronger.
That's a big league strawberry he's got working too on his shin.
There's some power the other way, but it's going to drift out of play. And that was power the other way, KP. That thing cleared the stadium.
Yeah, that was 100 off the bat right there the opposite way. I mean, it's foul pole to foul pole power, but there's also plenty of swing and miss. He's in a 2-strike count again.
Yeah, he did. Well, check to third. Yeah, he's gone. We don't even need to check. Campos calls him out. 9 strikeouts in the game, a season high for Ty Horn.
And the advantage of Horn tonight, obviously the fastball's been up there. It's been as high as 95. That was 93. But it really is the ability to throw anything at once at any point in any count. And so there's just 0 patterns for hitters. You can't go up and think 2 strikes, he's going to try to bury this. You can't think 2-0, I'm going to get a fastball. The ability to throw backwards, to go back-to-back right-handed changeups against a right-hander, it's adding up to what you're seeing tonight. That's why you're getting looks and swings like you got from Federico again there.
This is like an exercise class because you're sitting down, you're standing up the way Horn is going, and everybody is on their feet again.
Take quads off tomorrow. You get your leg work in today.
Over 100 pitches, and that one is just a little short. The other thing that's happening is so many people behind home plate are becoming umpires. Like Campos, the real umpire, they are mimicking the strikeout calls. 1-2 to Federico. Nope. 2-2.
So recognized and followed spin 2 different times in a row because they're trying to throw it out of the zone to get chased. Now Federico has recognized it early and laid off 2 down and out of the zone.
Horn ready. He missed badly. It goes full 3-2. He's obviously done his legwork. He can't do what he did after he threw it and bounce back up the way he did without all sorts of exercises. Furness is not the fastest runner. Remember, they pinch ran for him last night, so
we'll be moving here, though.
Take a lot to get him to score. And Federico does hit one into center field. It's going to get down. Furness will touch second. He'll go to third. And Federico has silenced this place a little bit. Now runners on the corners with 2 down. A very good hit by Federico on a pitch that was up.
You see that pitch count up over 100 now at 106 for Ty Horn, and there is double barrel activity down in that Nebraska bullpen. Tucker Timmerman, the righty, Caleb Clark, the lefty, both up, and looks like both ready to go.
Pano swings and fouls the first one off.
There's a high do factor right now on Pano.
Yeah.
It feels like he's going to run into something at some point.
Well, Furness down there at third represents the tying run. 0-1. No, that's a little bit high. How good has Federico been? He had 5 consecutive hits, and then he struck out, and now the hit streak is back on. So 6 hits in his last 7 plate appearances. In the dirt, really good job by the freshman Worthy behind the plate to smother it.
This feels like his last hitter. So, I mean, if he gets him out, he's not going to go back out there for the 7th. If he does not, then I think Nebraska goes either right or left out of the bullpen.
Right-handed hitter Foley's on deck. 2-1. Pano gets into one. Right center. It's deep. This one is going, and it bounces shy of the wall. Furness is in. Touching third, Federico. He comes home. He's safe. And Pano delivers a 2 RBI double to right center. And he was due and delivers. 2-1 Rebels.
You just had the feeling with Pano that at some point, because he had been up in some big spots, that he was going to run into one. This is a super talented sophomore. It's 93 in the fastball. It's elevated, and Pano gives it a ride into right center field. Unless you shade it that way, you got no chance to make this play. Short hop off the wall. With 2 outs, Federico's going immediately on contact. He scores easily. Ole Miss answers with 2 of their own, and that will chase Ty Horn.
The hits from Federico and Pano come with 2 outs. And boy, that can just put a damper on what has been a remarkable night for Ty Horn on the mound. A long-time pitching coach is out there on the mound talking with everybody.
No motion to the bullpen.
Nope, they're going to leave Horn in. I've seen this a handful of times so far in this regional. Where the apparent time to take the pitcher out, the pitching coach as well as the head coach say no, that's not the case. Seen it with Arizona State a couple of times, so now you see it here with Horn with the runner at second base. Then Austin Foley due up. Just the 5th double of the year for Pano. Strike 1. Talk about it in baseball all the time, that the third time through the order is the most difficult for a pitcher to navigate, and it does feel like these swings are a little bit more comfortable, seeing the ball a little better. Horn goes quick pitch there, and he buzzed the tower. He's got that in his arsenal. He's used that quite a bit.
He's still got to be careful he comes set out of the stretch, though, too, so they don't balk him.
The 1-2 to Foley. He fouls another one off. About the hitting of Ole Miss tonight, KP, 4 for 9 with 2 outs.
Yeah, that one matters.
2 for 15 last night in that situation.
Matters, and the biggest one was in this inning.
Owen Pano delivered it. He's out there at second base. The 1-2. Another spoil.
Yeah, with each one of those two, as the pitch count gets to where it is, there's more of a probability that the slider is up and you get a swing on it. Again, Foley has the ability to run one out of here.
Spoils another one. So 117 pitches. Given his ability to punch people out, this crowd has spent most of the night on their feet. The next one would get him double figures. More importantly, get his team off the field. But he missed inside. He's nearing 30 pitches in the inning.
Yeah, not all pitch counts are created the same. If it's an inning like this to where it's very elevated, I mean, a quarter of the pitches that come in this inning, just makes it that much tougher to execute for an entire at bat.
Foley's got 13 homers on the season. That one gets away, and heading down to third base is going to be Pano. There's a little bit of laboring going on right now with Horn, and again, you give Foley credit for fouling so many pitches off to keep the inning and the at-bat alive. Horn's 6th wild pitch. It's a huge run in this game, standing down there at third base. Comes inside, and he will walk him. And now you have to believe that that would be the last pitch that he has thrown tonight.
It's always the battle between the heart and the eye test. And the heart says you want to get out of the inning. The eye test says it looks like he's done.
Everybody is looking in the Nebraska dugout to see if Bolt is going to come out, or Childress, or anybody. A couple of more pitches being thrown out there in the bullpen. And here we go. And you assume he's going to get a massive ovation.
As he should.
One of the most powerful offenses in the game. He's held them to 2 runs. He'll leave with 2 on. But let's listen to the crowd as we go to break. Well, the adrenaline from Ty Horn. He pitched his you-know-what off. He gave you 5 2/3, 9 strikeouts, a season high, 120 pitches. And now he turns over a 1st and 3rd situation to big Tucker Timmerman, the 21-year-old who stands on the mound at 6'3", 220.
Just up the road in Beatrice, Nebraska, it's a sinker-heavy approach from Timmerman, primarily sinker slider, but it's a different fastball shape than they were seeing from Ty Horn. This, he's trying to get the ground ball. Strikeout numbers down because of that. For Ole Miss, you got to try to shove that sinker up because he wants you to swing at that pitch just down and out of the zone.
The heroes from early this morning for Ole Miss was this guy, Braden Randall. And he is delivering again. First pitch, jumps on it, and an RBI for Randall. And now it is Ole Miss up by 2.
Braden Randall not wasting any time. Looking first pitch fastball. Got that first pitch fastball. Location wasn't terrible. I mean, it's that two-seamer moving out of the way. But when you know the book, what they're potentially going to try to you, then you get your pitch you're looking for. You get a swing like that. Braden Randall adds to this Ole Miss lead.
Now Pacella, as that one plated Pano, who had the biggest hit of the night with that double. But boy, Randall and Jet Buck for Nebraska, those two guys, not the biggest guys on the team, they have delivered in big ways. And how about the last 18 hours for Randall? This crowd is again so desperate to get this third out of this inning and move on. The entire temperature has changed in the building. 3 across in the 6th. Remember how the whole thing started on a really good pitch and Will Furnace just reached out and was able to deliver a single up the middle?
Well, and don't get lost in it either. The Federico 2-out single that kept the inning going, and it allowed Pano then to hit it in the gap, and that's all this action has happened with 2 outs.
Top of the 6th. The Huskers, the home team. They'll get appearances in the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Plenty of time left in this one, but trying to keep it here. Worthley's doing some work behind that plate. Decent speed out there at second base in Austin Foley. And you've got to respect some of the pop in Pacella's bat. 4 homers on the season, 15 runs batted in. The 1-2, he got him to chase that time. He went with a changeup away at 78. But this ship has turned around. It was all Huskers because of Ty Horn. And then the bats of Furnace and Federico, the big double from Pano. The emotion has now moved and the momentum is on the first base side in the Ole Miss dugout. KP, you know, you've all seen those big, beautiful helium balloons you bring home for birthdays, and, you know, 3 or 4 days later, they start to sink back down to earth. It felt a little bit like that with Horn, who was so inflated for so many innings. And just at the end, you got that sense that I think you were on it. And just a little air started to come out. Some of those balls that were swung on and missed were fouled off.
Well, and you talked about it. Third time around the order is one thing, but then if it just doesn't quite have the same bite, and that's why the numbers change third time around the order, because a lot of times the bite is a little bit different. Wasn't because of lack of heart, man. He was firing.
No doubt about it. Here is Worthley. Rabe stays in the game in the race to the bullpen. Ole Miss bats won that. And to your point, now the pressure shifts to Rabe after he just got a crooked number to throw a 0 up on the board. And it's a difficult time. It's 2, 3, and 4 in the order for Nebraska. Worley's hit it on the ground twice. Not this time. Right center field. Federico is going over there, and he has to make a nice running catch in the gap in right center. There's an example maybe of next year, the year after, Worthley sends that one over the wall. You can catch every Out of Market game all season long with MLB.tv. Your home for baseball anytime, anywhere. You get them all on MLB.tv, of course, which is now located on ESPN. The future major leaguers all over. Kylie McDaniel's top draft picks. There are so many in these regionals in the postseason in the NCAA tournament.
Well, Cade Townsend has moved up the draft board. Cade Townsend, kind of right in the middle of first round is where Kylie has him. The kid on the mound continues to move up draft boards too.
You can see that. And there's one that's going to get over the head of Peno. He had no chance. Carey continues to shine here in the postseason. The senior delivers again. He's been on base 6 of 7 times.
We talked about it with the Ole Miss offense, 3rd time around. Now you got the same thing with Nebraska's offense. And now it's time to see if that step profile has changed a little bit from Rabe. That was a cutter that didn't cut as much as it had before. Carey had a really good pass at it, and it's a 1-out single to bring the middle of this Husker lineup up.
And you can just see, I mean, in a big moment, that guy who's been around for 4 years can slow it all down. And he's done so in the first 2 games.
So can this one.
Now, 367 batting average for Case Sanderson. 17 doubles on the season. You see the numbers there, 6 home runs. Ground out to second and a strikeout. That one had a little zip on it, and it was really well located on the outside corner at 95 miles an hour.
I mean, he has lived 95 to 97 the whole night. So still jump on the fastball right now. How about the Kentucky Wildcats? One of the last few teams in that there was some questions about whether or not they should be in. Now 2-0 in Morgantown. They beat West Virginia today.
Well, no team knows better about being the last team in and having success than the Rebels out here. That was the case in 2022, and they won the whole thing.
We've seen it happen twice. Oregon State did it once. Ole Miss did it once, where they were seen as the last one in. Kentucky, probably one of the last 4. But battle tested, you go through the SEC, you've seen about everything.
Closer than you might think, that throw over there. Sanderson is a Nevada kid.
Attaboy.
Thank you. Very supportive family, and he talked about the experience he had last year.
Eddie Furtis wants to take a look at that, and Mike Bianco agrees.
The one before it was pretty close there with Dylan Carey.
Ole Miss is challenging the safe call at first base. The play's under review.
Well, this is more faith in Furnace, who's telling him, than anything.
Yeah, I think
else.
some is game situation too. He looked pretty safe.
You're going to likely need a little closer look than that to have some evidence to overturn. Call in the field is safe. And the base is going to obscure the fingertips, so you don't even know whether they're on the bag or not.
You can see his arm bend, though. When his arm bends there, he's there. And to me, it looks like the arm's bending before the tag is made.
The official review folks are located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So they got 11,000 monitors there that they can all see.
There they are.
If you count them, there's 11,000.
It's just right at 11,000, yeah.
They tried to add a few more, but they decided we're covered here with what we have.
We're going to shut it at 11K. That's enough.
And they're looking for any angle which would help them get clarity on the call. And while that's all going on, Rabe is throwing some pitches to his catcher, Foley. Your point is well made. Obviously, it's a critical part of the game, and you could take, a runner off, which would mean that the hitter is not in a situation to tie the game with one swing. But Campos is going over to talk.
We got 2 different
to his buddy.
Discussions going on.
Say maybe we needed more than 11,000. I don't know.
You're really good at reading lips.
After review, the call's confirmed. The runner is safe. Ole Miss has 1 challenge remaining.
The count stays 0-2 to Sanderson with 1 out and Carey on first. Sanderson's the tying run. J.P. Robertson is up in the Ole Miss pen. You kind of have that same feeling about Rabe right now that you got.
I totally agree.
With Horn in the last one. He throws the 1-2, and this is a shallow center field one. That's going to get down in front of Federico. A little bit off the end of the bat, but the threat of a comeback continues for the Huskers on a single by Sanderson.
Yeah, and that's the one, if you're Nebraska, you're just fine with it being off the bat. If it's barreled up, it's probably an out, but got off the barrel just enough to fall in front of Federico out in center field. Now back-to-back one-outs singles, and we'll see if that bullpen starts heating up a little bit quicker than it was.
Robertson, the sophomore out of Madison, Mississippi, and this may very well be an effort to get some more throws in out there in that bullpen. Robertson's got a 4.11 ERA in 30 innings. He's got 42 strikeouts and 18 walks.
Yeah, Joel Mangrum, the pitching coach, is out, and this is almost assuredly a discussion as opposed to a move right here.
That name is familiar to baseball fans, certainly in Cleveland. He was with the Guardians for 6 years. He was actually on the staff of Federico's dad, too, for a while. What does Rabe have left? He's thrown 91 pitches. He's been rock solid so far. The Ole Miss got to Horn in the top half, and now the Huskers are trying to do the same. With Will Jeske, the DH, he's had his number twice. He has struck out. He is looking Rabe for a ground ball. Jeske looking to elevate. In there at the knees for a strike at 94 miles an hour. Jeske struggles against velo, just a 182 hitter, anything over 93 miles an hour.
On this at bat, Rabe really staying with that two-seam fastball, trying to sink it. I think some of that may be Ole Miss looking for a ground ball right here, see if they can turn two. But Jeske has worked it into a plus count.
And I think maybe the 180 average against fastballs.
Here's your eye test.
Trouble now, 3-1. The crowd comes to its feet for the first time with the offense instead of Horn on the mound. Several times Rabe has put that glove over his ear. I don't know that his pitch comm is working, and the crowd is only going to be louder. He couldn't hear PitchCom. He can certainly hear the crowd.
Well, he can hear the crowd, but I would tell you this, that the PitchCom may have bailed Nebraska out right there, because Will Jeske was slow to get in the box to the point the entire dugout started yelling for him to get in the box. Like he may not be ready as the pitch clock went down, and I don't know that he would have. But the minute that Rabe said he couldn't hear, that cancels the whole thing.
As loud as it's been all night.
You've heard of quarterbacks not being able to hear?
Yep. This is where maybe you have to go to the fingers
Welcome to Lincoln.
signal the sign of the pitcher.
Well, you got 8,000 college football fans in the stands right now that are used to doing this just across the road.
I think I can read lips. Something about turn the volume up.
It's the knob on the right.
And of course, Ole Miss knows these environments as well as any team. I mean, the SEC is loaded with loud places, Oxford being one of them. But
they're about to get louder.
Yeah, and Bianco's got his head off. This is not going well right now. Oh, I'm fine. I found the volume button. Maybe not. I don't know. I got my glove.
They're not going to quiet down, I'll tell you that.
Who knew that PitchCom would play such a role? Campos is having a conversation with Foley, and now this is going to continue. See the Nebraska dugout in the background.
Well,
they seem to be enjoying it.
Yeah, the boys in Oxford have played in some pretty good environments over the course of the year. So this is they're used to environments like this, and I think that they relish it. These are the ones. These are the big games you want to play in, whether you're at home or on the road, when sometimes you can't hear yourself think.
He didn't need to turn the volume up on the crowd. They do it themselves. And he hit him. Watch Jeske show some emotion on his way to first. And the bases are loaded.
What is the major league line? I think you can go get him now.
Now's a good time.
I think that it's probably time to go get him now. He's been outstanding, but this inning has looked a little bit different, and Jeske's going to get a standing O for wearing one.
It's quite clear that he's, if not rattled because of the environment, this has not been a comfortable inning because he can't hear anything. And who's coming up? Jet Buck, the hero of the regional so far for the Huskers. Looking for his third home run. Big swing from a very comfortable hitter who has gone yard in each of the last 2 days. And he likes seeing red on the bases. Jet Buck's got a .385 average this year with the bases loaded.
Well, important for Rabe. Got ahead in this count. That last pitch, 95 miles an hour on the fastball, so velo has not dipped.
Mr. Way, you surprised at all that he's still in the game?
I am, actually. Yeah.
Took something off of it, and Buck swung right through it.
There's one of his better sliders, probably the best slider in this inning right there. Took something off at 81, had a bunch of top to bottom. He's taking that PitchCom out and putting it right up to his ear to try to hear what's coming in. Good job by Foley. Not enough time to get out there and block it. It was too far out, so just went with the pick and gloved it.
The two-strike situation doesn't apparently bother Buck. He's got the second highest average on the team with 2 strikes. That's 270. Good spoil, and you can see Foley banging his glove. He thought he had a chance to hang on to it. Yesterday a homer, the 4th inning tonight. Buck went the other way before we had darkness settle in here for a home run.
And that was the only run of the game at that point till Ole Miss would answer back.
It's been his stage, and he's been great on it. Graves 2-2. He spoils another one.
Would you feel like in this moment, we saw it last night, Walker Hooks went 5 1/3, 75 pitches. If not for that, he's probably in the game right now because that's the guy that you trust the most, but unavailable today, so they'll roll with Rabe, at least at this point.
Yeah, so you use the building blocks to get into a championship game. That is one of them. No, 3-2 with nowhere to put him, and a good job by Foley, otherwise Carey is coming on home. Not sure there's ever been a scene like this at Haymarket Park. Buck takes, he's called out on strikes. Rabe comes up with the biggest pitch of the night to punch out his 9th on a 3-2, caught looking. Jet Buck retired.
And a breaking ball. It takes guts to throw that pitch right there, man. I mean, you got everybody on their feet. The place is going nuts, and bases loaded. Rabe goes back to a breaking ball that looked like it caught the plate. I know Jet Buck would disagree, but that looked like a perfect time to go off speed. The velocity and the movement froze him, and a giant pitch right there for Taylor Rabe.
And now the heartbeat of the team. Joshua Overbeek. Single and a strikeout. Off speed is high and away, 1-0. The kid has overcome 2 broken feet within the last year. He broke it twice. He's a little bit slower, but no less determined. And it counts 2-0. Three balls and no strikes, and another one not close. A senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, will now take a pitch. Yeah, that is rare. You don't see it. Rabe actually puts the pitch con to his ear and then stuffs it in his pocket just so he can hear. Got to assume a fastball is coming here, and he lands it.
Well, definitely a 3-0 take, but I would think that you free Overbeek up right here with 2 outs.
And that one is down the line, but it's tailing foul, and now the count goes from 3-0 to 3-2. All the runners will be in motion. Anything that Rabe can get, that Overbeek can get into the outfield would likely tie this game.
He went 3-2 breaking ball last time in the same spot. Will he do it again?
Runners will take off. And another foul ball.
96 right there. You can tell Rabe's sensing that it's the end of the day, and everything he has in the tank he's letting go.
And another foul. What a battle. What an atmosphere. And what a moment.
Kind of feels like the top half of this inning.
Yeah.
Pitch count rising,
Yes,
pitch count in the inning rising. Giant spot here with 2 outs.
The Go Big Red chant starts for Overbeek. And he spoils another one.
That was the slider after a couple 96-mile-an-hour fastballs that Overbeek fouled off. That time he fouled off the breakable to stay alive.
Reed Strohmeyer is the runner who came in to pinch run. He's at first. Sanderson at second, Carey at third. Overbeek settles in. And this one on the ground to second. Staying down on it and throwing him out on the bench. Explodes as Rabe gets through it. And Ole Miss survives. Are you kidding me? I mean, he couldn't hear a thing. He got his brain right, and he got the ground ball he needed. Dom Decker delivered. Rabe holds on to a 3-1 lead. All you, Rabe. Now, just about everything you want in an inning. Top of the 6th inning, and that's when Ole Miss took off. Thanks to Owen Pano. Drive to right and landed in front of the wall, and it played in a couple, and that allowed them to go up by a few. And then it was Braden Randall who delivered a single and an RBI to plate Pano. They got a 3-1 lead, and then, of course, what we just witnessed was as good a theater as you're ever going to have in a college baseball environment. KP, I mean, that had literally everything in the top and the bottom of the 6th, short of runs being scored by Nebraska.
Yeah, it had the same feel as the top half. But then Rabe got, at least for Ole Miss, the 2 biggest outs of the game.
I don't know, think about it. You know, whatever profession you're in, if somebody's going to alter the sort of working order, meaning in this case, the pitch com's not working, so I got to take it out, put it in my pocket, listen this way. That's just a change to the natural progression of things you've been used to all year. And
then he got the 2 biggest outs that he needed to get. Yeah, just... when he clearly was on fumes himself.
I also find it fascinating that the catcher Foley goes out there with Rabe, and they're kind of giggling in their gloves. 3-2. Hang on a second. Dom Decker, not yet. Tucker Timmerman, who came on in relief for Ty Horn. Still very much a ball game. Yeah, that's a big one. You lose the leadoff hitter with a walk. So Decker is aboard. That'll bring up Udemark and allow us to remind you, squeeze play is your place through the entire regionals, which could extend to Monday, depending on how many of the if necessary games are there. But we bounce from stadium to stadium with Matt Schick and Chris Budden, Runes, and Chris Burke. Outstanding job. Long days and nights. But that is your spot if you want to be up to date on all that's going on. And this whole thing, as you know, is connected. This region is married to the Auburn region, and all regions know that when we win ours, we're going to play the winner of that one.
Auburn came back, stayed alive today, beat NC State. Milwaukee was up 9-0 on UCF in the winners bracket game at Auburn.
And?
So last I saw, they were up 9-0. Milwaukee's the 4 seed with a losing record this year. They've now scored 22 runs in 2 days.
Udemark has struck out twice and lined out softly to the third baseman. Runner goes to throw down. It's a good one and safe. Decker picks a bag. He got that arm extended. Really good throw by Worthley.
Yeah, and watch the arm angle too. I mean, it's going to make it even quicker. Throws from down below, it looks like they're going to take a look. It's the left arm that's extended as the tag beat him. It did not look like it did.
No. We haven't got the infielders conditioned yet like the major leaguers, because you saw Stokes, his reaction was sort of a facial like, that was close.
It was not an emphatic.
He didn't go right away to the two hands over each ear and say, we should review that.
Florida and Miami, the 1-2 game. Florida up 8-6 in the fourth, and Aiden King started that game. All right, the left arm is the one that's going to get to the bag first, so it's the inside arm, the one closest, and it looks like he's safe to make.
And give him credit as well, Decker, for holding the bag. And that's another part for Stokes here. You want to keep that glove on the runner, because you'll see oftentimes the runner will pop off the bag. He went with a swipe tag. And anytime you see the arm break a little bit and bend like it does there, you saw that right hand, the left hand, the finger spread out when it hit the bag. And we'll get the call.
After review, the call in the field is confirmed. The runner is safe. Nebraska has 1 challenge remaining.
Each team's got 1 challenge remaining. Decker has stolen his 13th base. And that leads the team.
Got a long day in Tallahassee tomorrow. Florida State Coastal resumes.
Oh boy.
In the morning. And then the winner's bracket game comes after that.
Thought about just doming every one of these buildings? If we can afford 11,000 replay review monitors, we probably could throw some domes up. Ball 4 to Udemark. Timmerman has walked the first 2. And this is an offense capable of putting up crooked numbers in a hurry. The lefty Caleb Clark is getting ready. Got a couple of lefties here now in the heart of the order for Ole Miss. The son of Eddie Furness about to step to the plate. Eddie, of course, synonymous with LSU baseball. He's got 2 World Series crowns. Ole Miss got 1 in 2022. Timmerman is out. Lefty coming in to deal with Furness and Becerra. All right, so in our bracket world, double elimination here in the regionals. You kind of look upper left and you see Arizona State losing 7-6 in 14 innings. And then Arizona State came back earlier today and won 17-0. So they were really bummed out when they left the field yesterday. And you kind of sense that maybe for Arizona State, things are shifted a little bit. We got 17. We know we're playing tomorrow at 3. And we're kind of seeing here a Nebraska team that's got to walk this tightrope of how many guys do we use? When do we kind of commit to saying, you know, we got to think about tomorrow instead of necessarily pushing all of our resources here, because we could conceivably have to win 2 games tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think you do it quite yet. I think it depends on what happens in this inning. But for Arizona State, they're hoping that they fire all their bullets.
I'm sure.
That stays out there. That first game tomorrow is the one where you got one team coming off a win that's feeling good.
Yep.
And one team coming off a loss that is a pretty quick turnaround.
All right, the lefty Clark fires a strike in there to Furness. Caleb Clark's got 2 on. There's nobody out. Over his shoulder is Dom Decker. Campos liked it. He called that a strike.
Good work by Worthy right there. Get that body turned around and get that top half almost turned towards first base to keep that ball in front of him. Base runners can't go anywhere.
Clark's next one. He swung, and that one is in and out of the glove, going to third base. I think it's a foul ball.
Overbeek's like, whoa, hold on. What do we got going here? He didn't move.
Worley came up firing. The runner was heading to third base. Decker. But contact made. KP, fastball, sinker, slider pitcher for the most part.
Yep, fastball right around 90 miles an hour. A tick more sometimes.
Furtis sky high on the infield. Hands up for an infield fly rule. He's still caught by Carrot. 1 out. Again, that illustrates the challenge that the guys will have on balls that are hit into this dark night right now.
Yeah, those flags still moving pretty good. It's maybe died down a little bit from the day game, but still giving us a decent little breeze up here in the booth. Feels nice.
And here's Tristan Becerra. That ball sounded loud off the bat. Moyer backpedals, stops, and makes the play. He turned that around at a pretty good number. And Moyer did a good job of getting back there to make it, and now there's quickly 2 outs.
That was 113 off the bat right there. That's the hardest hit ball that I think we've seen the entire weekend.
Sounded it, didn't it? This has been the most difficult guy to get out. It is Hayden Federico.
For Federico, most of his damage has come from the left side, but the switch hitter will push to the right side here.
.333 average against left-handed pitchers. A little bit high, ball 1. Federico is seeing his batting average climb almost to 300 with the way he has hit the ball. 2 hits tonight, 3 yesterday. And he looks at 1 outside. .304 batting average for Federico with runners in scoring position. Got to go down to a knee to get that one.
Texas up 16-2 on Tarleton State.
Yeah, Texas seems to be peaking right now.
Hammered people in back-to-back days, and they didn't exactly come into the NCAA tournament playing their best baseball of the year. That seemingly has changed.
They had some guys banged up. Saw some awkward swings. We just saw them a couple of weeks ago. I think the key for them is what they get out of, if anything, from Ruger Riojas, right?
Yeah,
it's an important piece.
The biggest question going into the weekend.
Federico 5 for his last 10. He's got a favorable count, 3-1. That's ball 4 to load the bases. I don't think you pitch around anybody when the situation will load the bases, especially with a guy like Pano coming up, who had the very big double in his last plate appearance. KP, 3 walks in the inning.
But you're 1 pitch away from getting out of it right now. So for all the traffic and how it feels like Ole Miss could add more, you're a pitch away from getting out of it, still down 2.
Now packed house here, Haymarket Park, Hawksfield. They started getting here very early, tailgating outside. It was a gorgeous day. Now they're in here and they've gotten a little quieter in the building. But 2 strikes on Pano, and now they're starting to get loud again. They know how close this is. They threatened in a big way in the last half. 2-run deficit is nothing. Great job by Worthley. Whew.
This kid's good, man.
He is.
He's good. And to your point, the strength is only going to grow. The ball's only going to jump more off of his bat, but he has handled himself really well behind home plate.
The 1-2 to Payno with the bases loaded. No. He's a sophomore, but you've seen some very mature takes from Payno. This is popped up on the infield, playable, but remember the wind. And nobody catches it. Oh my goodness. Carey came over, looked like he was ready to take charge. Then he looked at Overbeek, and you give Payno another chance.
Yeah, and Carey clearly called for it because he was in a position, and then he kind of turned around looking to get bailed out right at the end when he realized he wasn't going to get there. You called it right away when it goes up. This wind is, it's going to play tricks, and it's going to play tricks in a ball like this. Off of a left-handed bat, it's going to spin a little bit different. And now new life for the Rebs with the bases loaded.
In and out of the glove of Worthley. He thought it was still in there. Those are two possible outs to get out of this inning. And another chance for Payno. With Decker at third. Shakes off that one. Here it comes. Nope. And the count goes full. Deep breath time for everybody in this building. They will be moving with 2 outs and a 3-2 pitch. And that's high. Another walk, 4 in the inning, and the lead grows to 3. Oh boy, KP, there was a pop fly that should have been caught, and now the 4th walk.
Well, a foul tip that could have been caught. It's not an easy play, and it's really nothing you can control back there, but this stays in the air for a long time, and really either one of these guys has enough time to make the play. Carey, the shortstop, calls for it, and right at the last minute he spins and looks at Overbeek to see if he can bail him out.
That's a hard one. That's a brutal one where all of a sudden you realize I'm dead. I'm in
no man's land right now.
Can you please help? That's a tough one. So they're racing through pitchers and maybe getting to that time. It's clearly not over. The bases stay loaded. And Nebraska will go to Price Bender, it looks like. Yeah, there's some head shaking going on right now. All that emotion has shifted a little bit. 4-1, still loaded, 2 down. Need an out when we come back. .93% of the regional winners win the opening game. 82 go 2-0. Ole Miss is trying to be that team that goes 2-0. And the faces and the emotions have really changed here. But again, keep it at 3. Anytime you're within 4, right? You got a real chance. At least you feel that way. And now it's Price Bender out of Edmond, Oklahoma, 6'4", 190. Tasked with making sure it stays right where we're at.
Yeah, low arm slot guy. That 2-seam fastball is going to run a ton for Bender. Now it's just get the Huskers off the field. 4 runs scored tonight for Ole Miss. All 4 runs have scored with 2 outs. The last on a 2-out bases loaded walk, where now everybody on the bases has reached via the walk in this inning.
Austin Foley bats. He's got Udemark down there at third base. And we're again pointing to the eyes. We've got to make contact with both. The 4 walks will hurt you every single time. 5 for 11, 4 walks with 2 outs. There is a silver lining if they can get out of this, and it has to do with Nebraska's ability to do damage in innings 7, 8, and 9. Sidearm is in there for a strike. Bender with a bender. Got full Raleigh fingers stash. We are locked right now. Decker, Udemark, Federico, Pano, all reached via the walk.
Well, big pitch here. This is where you do need that crowd to get back in it, because Huskers get off the field right now. It's still very manageable, because they're about to get into that Ole Miss bullpen here pretty quick.
Is there a swing and miss pitch from Bender? Lifted down the line and very deep towards foul ground, and it will just go foul.
401 feet foul down the left field line.
That's why you wonder about the swing and miss. We had 2 grand slams in the earlier game today from Arizona State.
To your point, there's not a lot. Just 14 strikeouts in 23 innings for Bender.
Udemark dances off third. In a 4-1 game, here it comes, and another one that he fouls off. And it's looking a little large right now to Austin Foley. And that's going out of play. You know, KP, we touched on it with Mike Bianco when we had him on. The idea that every weekend you're going into environments, for the most part, that mirror what we saw here, certainly would allow somebody, you know, like Rabe to deal with pitch calm and everyone else to kind of calm things down. It feels like that has given them a little bit of an edge.
You saw Foley's reaction when he went out to the mound. I mean, it was, yeah. They enjoy it.
You got to come with something here and end what has been a bit of a nightmarish inning with a ball that should have been caught. One popped out of a glove. There have been 4 walks. And Bender to Foley. And he missed badly. That is the 5th walk of the inning and the 5th run that Ole Miss has on the board. So think how effective and great Horn was when this whole thing started.
And from a control standpoint, Nebraska had walked 1 batter going into the 6th inning. They've now walked 7. 5 in this inning alone. This offense is too good to gift them runs.
It's a great point. Randall on the ground, a race to first with Randall. The flip is a good one, and getting over there is Bender. Well, we said the number was 4. That's where it is. It's 5-1. We go bottom 7. When we come back, we'll show you how good Nebraska's been in the late innings. All right, KP, you're saying there's a chance, and one of the reasons there's a chance is what Taylor Rabe did all night.
I mean, he was outstanding early, and there was a lot of swing and miss, and then just the 1 run on the solo home run that lasted for a while, but the time they needed him the most was when he got him out of the previous inning for Rabe. Bases loaded, 1 out. He goes strikeout, ground out to get the Rebels back in the dugout. They go in and add 2 more and now extend that lead to 4. The Rebs will go to the bullpen. Another hard-throwing right-hander, J.P. Robertson, on for the 19th time this year. The fastball is going to be mid to upper 90s. It's a very good slider. He's given up about a hit in innings so far this year, but 42 strikeouts in those 30 2/3 against just 18 walks.
Yeah, and a little cushion now that it is 4-1. But Nebraska has been, check that, 5-1, a 4-run lead. Nebraska's been really good at doing damage in the last 3 innings of a game. In fact, among the best in the country at doing that. I'm telling you this, UCLA finds themselves down late in the game. They're not worried about anything.
They didn't seem to be. Back-to-back solo shots, walk them off in the 9th to stay alive. You can see the Huskers have swung it great. In fact, better than anybody else in this NCAA tournament from the 7th inning on.
It'll be 8-9, then back to the top. 9 outs to play with, 4 runs to score. And what Rabe did was keep the leadoff man off through the first 6. The leadoff man didn't reach 1 time, and the first pitch is swung on and fouled off. Little 87-mile-an-hour slider to start Grigo, who grounded out to second and struck out. Remember, the loser comes back tomorrow afternoon, 3 Eastern time, 2 o'clock here in Nebraska. They'll take an Arizona State team that's feeling pretty warm right now about themselves. A high fastball. It's 0-2.
A 96 right there from Robertson. There's no letdown on velo. You were 95 to 97 with Rabe. Now you're going to see the same thing.
One of the hardest throwing teams overall in the country. That one was thrown hard, but not close. Ole Miss and Arizona State have a lot of similarities in their swing and miss, in their swing and power, and in their arms. 1-2 missed on the inside. Two and two, looking for a spark, which would mean maybe getting a leadoff guy on for the first time tonight. It's always usually a relief to see a reliever on the mound and not the guy that shut us down. But he's gone with a good pitch, and he picks up a strikeout. A slider at 88 miles an hour.
Yeah, go to him right there. So it was elevating 96, 97, comes back with that snapdragon slider to strike out the freshman Grigo.
Brett Mosley, who was inserted last night into center field, they threw him back out again tonight for his excellent defense. Federico has moved into left field. And this is remarkable, isn't it, KP, what a bullpen arm can do, because in this case you can keep the momentum going and really continue to silence the bats, or in the case of what we saw with Nebraska, when the starter comes out, it could then just blow up.
Yeah, and it's honestly, it's back to what we talked about earlier, is can you throw up a 0 after you put runs on the board? And, you know, without a hit, they scored 2 runs in the previous inning.
Robertson falls behind 2-0. Always a big pitch, 2-0 to get that strike. He gets the foul ball from Stokes before we get back to Moyer. The leadoff hitter. Got to start to chip away, even though we got a couple of innings to go here. Give yourself a chance. Maybe get back to that guy right there, Jet Buck. Pressure of the postseason, perhaps. Who knows what contributes to a team who's been so good in controlling the walk game and then issue 5 in an inning. Another one out of play. Stokes struggles big time against a change, a split, breaking balls. He's kind of middle of the pack on the team, about 260. I've seen a ton of fastballs from Robertson he's been able to land. Here he goes 2-2. And another one with some movement on it, and he is gone. A really good pitch. And you can see how the scouting report plays into exactly how these guys try to execute, and it pays off again.
Oh, yeah, they got those numbers, too. Maybe a few more, but both times 2 strikes right here. Robertson going to that breaking ball, and that's what has been so good, especially against right-handed hitters this year. The swing and miss combination between the curveball and the slider is somewhere between 40 and 45%.
2 down for the leadoff hitter, Moyer. On the ground of the shortstop, 2-hopper for Pano. Nice throw across the diamond, and Robertson bounces off the bump. Feeling very good. A 1-2-3 7th inning. Back comes Ole Miss with 9-1-2. The NCAA Baseball Regionals have been presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? In a building that has been loaded with energy and emotion tonight, the seesaw has been in favor of both. Early on, Nebraska, behind their phenomenal starter, Ty Horn, they had this place erupting, and then slowly but surely a 3-spot and a 2-spot in the 6th and 7th, respectively, have moved it into that first base dugout, and Ole Miss has a 5-1 lead. Winner goes to the final here in Lincoln. Loser will play around 3 in the afternoon Eastern time, 2 o'clock local, against Arizona State. Start the 8th inning with a swing and a miss. For the first time, Brent Mosley. Good movement on that pitch from Bender.
Good slider right there from Bender. And if you're Nebraska, you'd love for Bender to take you home right here, save as many arms down to that bullpen as you can, and ideally see if that offense can get going. Good one there.
Yep, called strike 3. Mosley gone. Slider on the outside corner, so there is not necessarily swing and miss stuff, but watch that one go by, and that is a strikeout, which gets us back to the top of the order in Dom Decker. Strike 1. Back up the middle, off the glove of Carey, who's been so great, it deflects into the outfield. And aboard is Decker. It's going to be Decker's 2nd hit of the night.
A good piece by Dom Decker. Last time he was on, too, remember, he was off and moving right away. We'll see if Mike Bianco stays aggressive for Nebraska. There's been a few of those. Like the close can't quite get theirs.
Exactly.
That, you know, does it change the game? Maybe not, but the ifs have seemed to go Ole Miss's way.
Yeah, you got to be careful here with Udemark, who swings at the first one, went down to a knee and fouled it straight back. He's been asked about it a lot when he is about that pink bat that he swings. He said, I don't know, I've been swinging it for 2 years. Maybe there's some powers in it. The powers have paid off because, again, between his freshman and sophomore year, he had 7 homers. He's got 50 now.
That's a bit of a jump. 43 in the last 2 years. See that math?
Excellent job.
Thank you. And Bryce Bender will drop down. He's got a couple different arm angles. Higher velocity when he stays up top. He's been up above 90 miles an hour. Then he'll drop down, trying to give the hitter, especially the right-handed hitter, a little bit different look.
Yeah, Udemark is hurt on that swing. At least
this one's going to take a minute.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing, I'm looking over the Pinnacle Bank Arena, which is down the first baseline. You can see off in the distance, KP, a couple of flashes in the sky.
Yeah, let's not talk like that.
Well, I certainly don't want to bring that on here. I'm just telling you what I can actually see. We're not going to talk about the weather.
Nope,
yeah, we're not going to talk about that either.
Self-explanatory.
Yep. One-two to powerful Udemark, and he's gone. There's that swing and miss stuff there from Bender. One out in the 8th. Udemark has struck out a lot this season, and that is the 3rd one tonight.
Yeah, there is some all or nothing in that swing, and the all is very, very good. But yeah, with the 3 strikeouts tonight, 76 on the season for Udemark.
To Furness with 2 down. Into the bat. Is it going to hang up long enough? No, it will not. It drops in front. Quickly going to third base. Here's the throw. It gets by both. And coming in to score. How about the aggressive running of Dom Decker? What a read. The throw from Buck. Sailed by Overbeek. And not backing up in time was Bender. It is 6-1.
We've seen things tonight from Nebraska that you don't see. It's one of the best defensive teams in the country. So Jet Buck is way deep, and with 2 outs, Decker's going to be running the entire way. But watch Overbeek. He never got back to the base. I mean, he was still kind of trying to find his footing, was backpedaling, getting there, and it makes it even tougher to catch that hop. But as a pitcher, you're not quite sure exactly where you're going to back up, because this is the other thing. Your pitcher's got to be there to back up.
Yep.
Ultimately, Worthy behind the plate vacates. Decker sees it and goes home. What looked to be kind of a little flare to left field ends up with a throwing error, scored another run for Ole Miss.
They have done a lot of damage with 2 outs. A lot of head shaking going on, including Will Bolt as Furness swings 3-0 for the fences.
Yeah, and
I should say Becerra.
I don't know what Will's going to say after the game, but it's been an atypical Nebraska defensive game that has now led to multiple runs. I mean, if the ball's caught in foul territory, they're off the field.
Yep.
If you execute the throw to third base right there, they're off the field. And that's something they've been so good at this year. They came into this regional, the top fielding percentage, tied for the top fielding percentage in all of college baseball. It's only going to show 1 run right now, or 1 error right now, but it's really 2 that have affected the score.
And 8 walks in the game affecting the score as much as anything. Now, the way this thing started, you certainly didn't see a 6-1 game. And Federico now steps to the plate, and this guy has been on fire. Between he and Furness, they are 11 for 19 with a walk. F-Troop, Furness and Federico.
Look at you working late into the night. They're working late into the night in Gainesville right now. The always cordial Florida-Miami matchup, all tied at 8 in the 6th inning. Oregon with a 1-0 lead over Wazoo in the 8th. That would make Oregon 2-0.
Oh, 2. No. I was curious when we were in Hoover about the percentage of 0-2 pitches that are strikes. And I was surprised at how high it is, because it does feel like 0-2 is just a lot of wasted pitches. And maybe the percentage when you compare it to what you see at the major league level is higher. But the percentage of strikes on 0-2 is over 50%, somewhere in like 54% area.
That's higher than I would have expected.
Yeah. And I assume maybe the starters balance that out, but it does feel like late in games, if you get ahead 0-2, you look for somebody to go fishing, and you're just non-competitive pitches. 1-2 right back up the middle, and that is exactly where the shift is on, and that will be the 3rd out in the 8th. Huskers down 5. They need some magic. We'll be back with 2, 3, and 4 right after this. We take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance, and you go back to the wild 6th inning, where all the runs were really scored by Ole Miss. They trailed 1-0. They played it 3 after Pano, and then Randall delivered. They got a crooked number there, and then in the bottom half, it was Rabe who got the job done with a big called strikeout and then a ground ball to second. And KP, that is the game in a nutshell.
Yeah, and when you look at Ole Miss, 6 runs scored tonight, all 6 have been with 2 outs. I mean, it's one of those things where if Nebraska makes 3 pitches, we get a totally different ball game. But it's been that type of regional to where there's just a few plays, and it's the game in general, that decide ultimately who's on top. Now it's an uphill battle for the Huskers.
Robertson perhaps trying to close this game out as well, because they have to play tomorrow. And if you go 2-0, you got a chance to win it all. Get yourself a little extra day off before the Supers. Ole Miss will have to find out where they're going to play if they're able to win it. Arizona State looking to change that narrative, as will be Nebraska, who will be playing tomorrow, either late at night or earlier in the afternoon.
Mississippi State trying to go 2-0 in Starkville. They lead Cincinnati 5-1.
And if that stays on the grass, that's a hit, and it's going to be a hit. A little sign of life there. Worthley is aboard, so speed is on the bases.
Yeah, and sometimes it starts that way. Yep. You just need that leadoff man on. Now you get the middle of the order coming up in Dylan Carey, Case Sanderson behind him. This is where Nebraska needs to do some damage if they're going to get back in this thing.
Robertson wants a new Aggie, so he will throw in the baseball. Carey single, got stranded at 3rd in that wild 6th inning. And this is likely their last best chance to turn this into a game again. Carey with Case Sanderson on deck. Trying to hold up on that. Frustration there from Carey, who wanted to not have the bat make contact with the ball.
Frustration there because he knows that he's got a 1-1 count and probably should have been 2-0. This is the guy, your senior leader, your shortstop, your career leader in doubles.
Maybe a little redemption after that ball that was not caught in foul territory. Close, but no, it's off. Been a pretty good strike zone behind the plate tonight for Campos. Very consistent.
He will give you that.
Two and one, center field. Good read out there, and coming in to make the play is Mosley. Quickly, Worthley's got to get back as that ball was bounced back in. He did get back safely. A really good read by Brett Mosley in center field off the bat.
Yeah, and not a great read over at first base by Worthley. If Mosley saw that, they could have doubled him off. I mean, watch where he is when this ball is caught. And he's not running. It's a secondary. He just read it down and went too far. And then spins his wheels. I don't know if they throw him out, but they got a fighting chance if that throw goes to first base.
Sanderson, a .375 batter with runners on. 1 for 3 with a single. One ball, one strike. Angel's got his own pace too behind the plate on the strike call. Robertson looking to spin two and get out of the inning with a double play.
Worthley a threat to steal, but I don't know if you take that chance down 5 runs right here, especially the part of the order that Nebraska's in.
6 of 7 on the season, and he can fly.
Get some really athletic catchers in the game right now. Daniel Jackson at Georgia went 25-25 home runs and stolen bases. Von Lackey at Georgia Tech the same way. Worthley looks like he may be the next one of those.
He got him, chasing up top, and that's strike 3. It is the 12th strikeout of a Nebraska hitter.
Elevated at 94 right there for Robertson, who has been very good since coming out of the bullpen. In the 7th, went 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts. The leadoff single to Worthley in this inning, but then retires the next 2. This one on the strikeout to Case Sanderson.
They're going to bring up Max Buttonback, who is 200 on the season, to bat for Will Jeske. Slider has landed on the outside corner quite often.
That's what he's trying to live with it too. I mean, it's intentional, especially against these left-handers. Trying to bring it back over the plate. Robertson has had control of pretty much everything since coming in.
That ball hit pretty well. Federico going back. He's got no chance because it's over the wall. A pinch hit 2-run home run for Buttonback. It's 6-3. A little bolt from Bolt, who presses the right button.
Yeah, good time to bring a left-hander. Max Butenbach comes in, and this is what the Huskers needed. This is what this crowd needed. Starting to thin out a little, but there's still plenty here. It's 95, move it away, and this is where the wind's going to help you. Left-handed swing, backspin out to left field. Max Butenbach coming in, hitting just 200 on the year. His 4th home run of the season gets the Huskers back within 3.
Little life there from Butenbach. And now another guy that's provided a lot of it, Buck. Foul was the first one off. That changes things a little bit. And Max will have that memory forever. Another one of the Lincoln kids. KP, righty or lefty, that's the location the sliders landed in.
Yeah, he seems to be more comfortable, and I mean, it's the one that right-handers usually, if they get to it, they're going to hook it foul or they just take it.
And instead of an 0-2 waste pitch, he comes right back and picks up the strikeout. All the runs tonight have come with 2 outs. Both teams. Butenbach puts a crooked number up. It's 6-3. We go to the 9th. We're back. Bad news, everybody. We got us to the 9th inning, and we couldn't land the plane before the rain and the thunder and lightning showed up. We are in a weather delay. There's been a lightning strike within 8 miles, and as a result, the tarp is on. The teams are being vacated from the dugouts, and this is a fairly substantial cell, so we're going to be here for a bit. But the good news is we got Matt Schick, and we've got Runes and Berkey, who are ready to step in with squeeze play. There are games going on. 6-3 game. That was a big 2-run shot from Butenbach, and all of a sudden we got 1 into play, and it's still very undecided. That's the 1-0 game. Arizona State threw 2 grannies at us today, and they got 17 against South Dakota State, who is going home. They didn't score a run. ASU is comfortable, and here we go again with an Ole Miss team that may be here late at night. Arizona State is resting. So we'll take a timeout. KP is going to get us some type of nourishment.
I'm going to go looking. I'm going to find you some good stuff, Rav.
I love that, because we are a little hungry right now, and we're going to be here. It is 6-3. Fellas, you guys have been dealing with rain and elements all over the country, and we've entered the chat, so to speak. We'll be back when the game resumes. For now, squeeze play and Matt. And good afternoon and welcome everyone to the continuation of a game that was called due to rain, thunder, and lightning literally 12 hours ago. Ole Miss and Nebraska, we pick it up. It is 6-3, we go to the 9th. The winner of this game, both 1-0, will go to the regional final. That'll be played tonight at 7 local, 8 o'clock Eastern time. What happened yesterday? Let's recap it. And we'll start it off with Owen Pano, who will actually lead off in the 9th inning here. Big double, and that allowed Ole Miss to grab a 1-run lead, and it increased from there, thanks to a red-hot Braden Randall. Late at night, Jed Buck punched out, and this was the incredible pitching performance by Rabe on the mound. He got out of a bases-loaded jam. His pitch comm wasn't working. It was as loud as any building we've been in. And then Butenbach comes in off the bench, pinch hit, 2-run shot, changed the entire tenor of the night. And it got us to where we are after that rain delay. With Kyle Peterson, I'm Carl Ravitch. It is Ole Miss and Nebraska. It's been a wild weather situation for the regionals all across the country. But brackets, brackets, brackets. That's what today's all about, KP.
That's right. You can't say it enough. And we'll start right here. Continuation in the 9th. Winner gets a little rest. Probably if it's Ole Miss, go back to the hotel. If it's Nebraska, not go to the hotel. But this is going to be a good day, and we're not the only one. There's plenty across the country. Jalen Worthley, kind of a cool moment here. We got brother throwing to brother.
Yeah.
Senior to freshman. Worthley has been around the program for a while. They're bringing a lefty in to try to get through the 9th and ultimately see if these Huskers, and you talked about that Butenbach home run. It feels like it changes the ball game pretty significantly.
For sure.
And gives Nebraska a real chance if Worthley can go throw 0 up.
That number 42's got a lot of meaning to the Worthley family. Of course, Jackie Robinson wore that number. It was preached to them by their dad, Chris, how significant the sacrifices Jackie Robinson made. So he wears that uniform with pride. His younger brother, who is his catcher, Jeter. As you take a look at Ronette mom and Chris dad there, left and right, they'll have 20 to 25 people here And the main game was the first game that he pitched to his brother, and he acknowledged after there was a lot of emotional aspects to that. There are going to be a lot of emotions today. This is the box score as we sit. Furness 3 for 5. Federico's been on fire. Payno had that big double, and he will lead off the 9th inning of a 6-3 game. Ole Miss leads. If they win this thing, they move to the regional final tonight. Underway with an anxious swing at a ball that was never a strike. Fastball, changeup, slider on an absolutely gorgeous day here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Temperature 80, winds are way down compared to last night. The way Jeter Worthley became a catcher was his mom and dad said, would you please go out in the backyard and catch your brother? He needs somebody to catch for him, and that literally lit the fire for him to become a catcher. And he's only a freshman, and he is really good at this.
It's worked out pretty well for the family, I'd say.
Yeah. You got a Nebraska crowd that was very much helping Angel Campos umpire, and the 12 hours they had at home didn't seem to diffuse any of their energy. They're ready and raring to go. They like that one. Two balls, two strikes, unique situation. We are in the 9th inning. We're picking it up with 1 inning to go, and Ole Miss up 6-3. And Jalen Worthley set to deliver to Jeter. Does so, and that one is out of play on the left field side.
First time we've had high skies since we've been here, and it could figure into it too. It's been cloudy, a little bit overcast. But this time of day, not the easy. You don't have to deal with losing the lights or anything else, but you can lose in the sky.
Count goes full, 3-2. It is so unique. You have a freshman catching a senior brother on the mound. They have done this a billion times in their backyard, but never in a college baseball regional in their home park and in their hometown. And he lost him there, and that's a good start for Payno, as Jalen Worsley's last 2 pitches were up and out. Part of last night's great scene here at Haymarket Park was Austin Foley and his pitcher trying to communicate when PitchCom went down. Taylor Rabe couldn't hear a thing because it was so loud, and as Mike Bianco told us before the game, we have loud stadiums too, but when we're pitching, they're very quiet. Not here. And he was able to sort of navigate something when you really look back and thought about it, how difficult that is. I mean, you're taking away, you know, the pilot's navigation system in a sense.
He was taking PitchCom out of his pocket, putting it up to his ear, and to be fair, it didn't go down. It was too loud. He couldn't hear it.
This is Foley. They shift on the left side, and that's in there for a strike. Crowd was letting Campos know they should call it a strike, and he's got a unique signal call.
A little pause.
Little pause.
It takes a minute. I think he's trying to get the crowd into it. Angel's history would indicate he doesn't mind a little
spotlight,
controversy.
little shine.
Yeah. Really good balls and strikes guy, though. Really good.
Ole Miss will put Landon Waters on the mound for the bottom of the 9th. Will the lead be only 3? Trying to get Foley here in a 1-2. Jalen Worthley will first go over to first.
Coastal Carolina knocked out already today, Ref.
Yeah.
Florida State, that game was continued this morning. The rare 1-2 matchup in the 0-1 game. Everybody threw their ace, and Coastal goes home. Florida State still alive. 4
national seeds were facing elimination on Saturday. Did he land it? No, his brother tried to get him the call, but he couldn't. UCLA had another one of their crazy comebacks, a walk-off win over Virginia Tech. Auburn in a slugfest with NC State. Strange end to that game as well. The next one is in there for a called strike. Bender on the corner.
We found a breaking ball here. And Jalen Worthley has been breaking ball heavy since he came in. Missed high to walk Pano just a minute ago, but watch where it starts, watch where it ends, and Foley just gives up on it. Doesn't think it's going to come all the way back. Catches the outside part of the plate. Bomb's fired up, and rightly so.
Great shirt.
How cool is that?
Such a good shirt.
She gets to sit there and watch both her kids in a regional.
Super worthy. Double entendre. Super worthy as well. Really good. Colin Reuter is a pinch hitter, and he looks at a breaking ball in. He hits for the red-hot Braden Randall, but Randall hits from the left side, so they get Reuter into the game. You got to believe if Worthley and the Worthleys can get through this without giving up a run, the crowd here, which is sparse but loud, will go nuts for the bottom of the ninth. Give it up for these fans. They absolutely packed this place last night. I didn't see an official attendance number. Did you? No, no one has seen one? Got to be 9,000 to 10,000.
I didn't see the number, yeah. Stadium record's 8,700.
Looking for another punch out on 0-2. Here it comes. And he sailed it high with the fastball. Velocity right around where that one was, 90 to 92. It's the breaking pitch he lives with. With a shift on, there's no one on the right side of the infield for Reuter. He's gone as he chased up top. And number 42 on the mound is feeling it after striking out Foley and Reuter. Left on left for Brett Mosley. Dom Decker is in the on-deck circle. He's the leadoff hitter. This is a big guy to get if you're Jalen Worthley. Only threw 13 2/3 innings over the course of this season, did Jalen. A little high. Record is 2-0. He got wins early against Maine and Kansas State. It was in the Maine game where he came off the field and acknowledged, throwing to my brother was a little bit more than I thought it would be, and in a very good way.
Yeah.
He wore 42 in high school. He was given it before his senior year and shined his senior year. And then when he left and came to Nebraska, Jeter put the number on. He got it working right now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
They're about ready to bust out of their seats if he can pull off another one. Jalen said about wearing 42, everyone doubted Jackie. A lot of people doubted me. Doubted me for my size. There's always a chance to prove them wrong, just like Jackie did. Number 42 fires, and he gets another strikeout. And as he heads to the dugout, it's brother right there, Jeter, to slap him on the wrist. Here you go, Mom and Dad. That's a heck of a start to what could be a spectacular day here in Nebraska. That was one of the cooler moments you'll see on any baseball field. Brother to brother, back here 6-3 with Kyle Peterson, Carl Ravitch. So we go to the bottom of the ninth, the resumption of the game that was delayed last night because of the rain and thunder and lightning. And Landon Waters, hard thrower, making his 23rd appearance, the senior. Again, typical of Ole Miss relievers. They can throw it hard, 24 strikeouts, 11 walks.
Yeah, it's a mid-90s fastball, two different breaking balls, a curveball and a slider. And Waters on right now to try to get his 3rd save of the year. Save this Ole Miss bullpen. Give him a couple hours to go back, hang out. Get a feeling there may be something left in this Nebraska offense.
Uh-oh. Are you got a hunch right now?
Sometimes you get a hunch.
The Worthley brothers
sometimes your hunches are wrong.
Tip their hand a little bit, let you know we're all invested. Well, it's a high leverage reliever. It's always fascinating, especially given the dynamic of what today brings here. The winner of this one goes to the regional final. They'll get a break. The loser is playing a game at 2 in which they must win. And how you use your arms, who's available, etc. They were looking into the availability of Walker hooks, not in this game, but for the next 2 or 1 that they are going to have to play on the Ole Miss side.
I do think too, Rav, you've seen over the last 2 days why Ole Miss has a real chance, not just to get to Omaha, but actually to do damage. Cade Townsend ready to go game 3 whenever that is. It's 3 real weekend starters, bunch of swing and miss out of the bullpen, and plenty of punch at the plate.
So we'll start with Joshua Overbeek. In the batting order, it is 7, 8, 9 due up against Waters. And obviously here in the bottom of the 9th, they need 3 to tie, 4 to win. And Waters is ready, so is Overbeek, who bats from the left side. And that first pitch is in there for strike 1. That's off. Overbeek is the senior 6'1" out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He's dealt with a couple of injuries. In fact, he's broken his foot twice within the last year. Took a little bit of that speed away from him, and he was a threat when he was on. But the heartbeat of this team is number 4. Furness is at first base. Decker, Pano, Udemark around the infield. Same as it's been. Becerra out there is in right field. Mosley, a very good defensive player in center field, and Hayden Federico is out in left. With Foley behind the plate.
All sliders so far, 4 of them in a row to get that count to 2-2. Kind of evenly split. Fastball, cutter, slider. All somewhere between 25 and 35% usage, so you're never really sure what you're going to get.
2-2 up the middle, and it is off the glove of Decker. What a start for the Huskers. Overbeek made contact. He's aboard.
This was a slider. Cutters before, a slider velocity a little bit different. Good job, Overbeek, just to use the middle. And as the Huskers could map out the ideal inning, is just get the first base runner on, get the crowd into it. See if they can keep the train moving here with the freshman Grigo.
For those that were with us last night, Decker had a similar play where he hit the ground, had that ball ricochet off of his knee. Grigo, and that's going to get through between the 5 and 6 hole on the first pitch. And Nebraska, after the Worthleys did it on the mound, they got 2 hits to start this thing.
Well, you haven't seen a fastball yet. That was a cutter right there that caught enough of the play. Grigo was ready for it. This Nebraska offensive approach may be just to sit off speed, and that's all they've seen so far.
That brings Mike Bianco out of the dugout. And he has already signaled to his bullpen to make a change. Couple of things to consider here. The Udemark home run, which turned a 6-1 game to a 6-3 game as the rain was heading in our direction. And that's a huge difference. And Bianco is wasting no time in going to a bullpen.
He'll go to Hudson Calhoun. 3 2/3 in the opener against Arizona State. Allowed 1 hit, walked 1, punched out 3. Did not allow a run.
You know how important it is to get into the regional final. A win tonight for that team will get them to a super. And everybody's attention, while focused on the regional, many will start to look at different brackets and regions that are matched up and who may face each other in a super regional. The Lincoln Regional is set up with the Auburn Regional. So both of these teams won game one. So 93% of the regional winners won the opener. That's one of these two. 82% of them start 2-0. It is really hard to come back and try to win 2 games and then do it again the next day, which is the situation that regionals face. But boy, this is a great start for the Huskers as we return to Haymarket Park.
For both Nebraska and Ole Miss, too, you start looking forward. You got plenty of work to do. But if one of those two wins this region and Auburn loses, whoever wins the regional is going to host the Super. Nebraska is the one would absolutely host. Ole Miss is a higher-ranked team in the 1 through 32, and I think there's a very high probability that they would host a Super. Now, Auburn can absolutely, with that pitching staff, come back through the losers bracket, won yesterday and eliminated NC State, but there's a little bit of an opening that maybe didn't think there would be at the beginning of the weekend.
Well, you talked about what Calhoun did the other night, and Hudson, the righty who stands 6'4", 210, knew, because you could tell Bianco wasn't wasting any time. He knew he was on the clock. Like, if things go a little sideways here, we're coming to you.
Well, he had an extra day, too. I mean, this is where the advantage of not finishing yesterday. I don't know if Calhoun would have been hot, but gets an extra night of rest, and now Calhoun comes on. It's fastball, cutter, slider, changeup, fastball in the mid-90s. Best swing and miss is absolutely the slider.
The beauty of baseball. And you never know, a rain delay game overnight, you go home, a complete reset button, you wake up, the sun has come out, you got the crowd on your side, the Worthy brothers deliver 3 strikeouts in the top of the 9th inning. And here you go with 2 on in the 9th. We talked about how effective they are in the 7th inning. Well, they are really good in the 9th inning as well. One of the best teams in the tournament at delivering in the 9th. So let's see what Hudson Calhoun has as Rhett Stokes steps in. Calhoun is really looking for a ground ball here to start a potential double play. The 1-0. There is a ground ball. Udemark steps on third and fires to first, and he gets the ground ball double play he needed.
Speak it into existence, Rev. He was looking for the ground ball, and he got it, and you couldn't have, honestly, with guys on first and second, a more tailor-made double play. Right to Udemark, plenty of time to step on the bag. Probably, honestly, could have looked to second as hard as that was hit. But I think,
did you see how careful he was about every step he took?
Yes, you want to make sure you get the first and then make sure you get the second. Earlier in the game, you may think about it differently, but you're going to take 2 outs on 1 pitch right there.
And now Mac Moyer, who's the leadoff hitter for Nebraska. And ball 1. Udemark, who's been around a long time with this program, emotional after that double play, imploring his infielders and his pitcher, Calhoun. 1 more. But a racing 2, if Moyer can reach, you will then bring up Jeter Worthley with a chance to tie the baseball game. And he does land the 2-0 with a fastball. and he hit him, and that will allow Jeter Worthley to come to the plate with a chance to tie this baseball game. The tying run in a 6-3 game. And how about it? A 2-1 count. Hudson Calhoun just on in relief after 2 batters were faced by Landon Waters, each reached. And now a very dramatic moment in this resumption of a game that was suspended last night.
Well, just a few minutes after his brother went out, gave up a leadoff walk and punched out the side. Now the freshman Jeter Worthley has a chance to keep the Husker season going.
On the corner for strike 1 to Worthley, just a freshman. He's got 2 homers. I'm sure that the power as he grows and gets bigger and stronger will grow, but the wind is blowing out towards left. He swings, and that one is up the middle. It is fielded by Pano, who throws the glove on the bag, and Ole Miss is on to the regional final later tonight. Hudson Calhoun got the job done. Looked like that may have deflected off of him. Pano with not necessarily a work of art, but he had to get the glove or his foot to the bag, and he did. And that sends Ole Miss to the championship game of this Lincoln Regional later tonight.
Yeah, pretty workmanlike, too, for Ole Miss in this one. Took advantage of some of the mistakes, and you got to go back to yesterday, but Nebraska did not defend well. Ole Miss took advantage of it, didn't hit the ball out of the ballpark, which is rare for that offense, but still comes through and now is clearly in the driver's seat here in Lincoln.
No question, they have Cade Townsend set to pitch later this evening at 8 o'clock Eastern time. We got a really, really good game coming up on ESPN at 3 Eastern time, 2 local. Arizona State, Landon Hairston, his 28 home runs, an offense that scored 17 yesterday against these Huskers, and you got to believe it'll be a sea of red. We'll see you again at 3 Eastern with Kyle Peterson. I'm Carl Ravitch. Thanks for watching the NCAA Regionals here on ESPN+.